Welcome to Kranky Live Sports Talk, where passion meets action.
Hey sports fans, I am Kranky, and this is the Kranky Live Sports Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into the hottest topics, the biggest games, and the most controversial moments in sports.
Whether it's football, basketball, track and field, cricket, or soccer, we've got you covered with expert analysis, insider interviews, and unfiltered opinions.
Join me as I chat with the biggest names in sports, get exclusive insights and stories you won't hear anywhere else.
Kranky Live Sports Talk is where you can hear the real talk, the hard-hitting questions, and the hottest takes.
So, if you're a true sports fanatic, you don't want to miss out? Subscribe now to the Kranky Live Sports Talk on YouTube and hit that bell icon to never miss an episode.
Kranky Live Sports Talk, where sports come alive. Subscribe today.
Boy, tonight has been a rough night, people. Rough. Can you guys hear me? I am really not organized for tonight. I probably should have canceled this show. Can you guys hear me out there? Hello? Let me know if you can hear me. Loud and clear. Probably should have changed this style. I don't know. Let me know if you guys can hear me. All right, let me change my background. Oh, you can. All right, bless up, Juros. Thanks for being here. Jargons, thanks for being here. I'm struggling tonight. I was supposed to have this show earlier. I said it for 8:30. I came on. I was trying to go on Talawa's TV to say hello to Krista Nobby on her channel, and my mic wasn't working. Thank the Lord for AI. I had a discussion with AI with a good conversation. AI and I walked through various iterations of what could be the problem, and AI showed me the way. So AI is like the Bible, showing you the way. So I talk to AI much more often. Good evening, Warren. Thanks for being here. I have a lot to talk. First of all, people, I'm going to go watch my video. You see, I drop a video today. I'm watching my video. I spend time putting that video together. The video is she cheating? And I was going to put bun in the first sentence, but I decided not to because I want a broader audience. So never really did the bun thing, except in the description. I had that. But I have a lot to talk about tonight. Tonight I'm on them, we call rant night. What would my headline say? Spill the beans and honest opinion. Probably should I change that. Probably AI write that, and me write that. I mean, I just say bonfire upon people. So maybe me just bonfire some fire to that. But I have nothing to talk about. I have a listener, so I read on my phone from a list. The list is too long. I could be here till 1 o'clock in the morning. First thing, I have a question for you guys. Because I've been thinking about that. I was walking through this today and thinking about it. If you were to ask your neighbor what they think of you, what do you think your neighbor would say? I'm curious. What do you think your neighbor would say about you? I'll talk about what I think my neighbor would say about me. Bless up, jargons. And guys, what do you think your neighbor would say of you? I'm curious. If you were to ask your neighbor about you, what do you think your neighbor would say? Very, very curious. Come on, people. No tell me, man. No text. No, can't even call in if you want to know. If you know me, I run the banner number tonight. What do you think your neighbor would say and why? I'm curious. Very, very curious. They may have enough random thing on top before I jump into my main topics. What do you mean always doing something, Juras? I don't understand. Your neighbor would say you're always doing something, you're busy. You say you're busy. Is that what you're saying? Oh, working yard work. Okay. So your neighbor see you outside work. Do you talk to your neighbors, Juras? Do you engage with the neighbors? Do you talk to your neighbors? Hey, jargons. Yeah, jargons. Let me tell you something. Let me drink some water first when we talk to your jargons. Hey, jargons. If you think all your neighbor weird, there's only one consistent theme in that whole thing. If you think all of them weird, then you gotta look in the mirror, jargons. Maybe I know them weird, you know. I'm just saying, jargons. I'm just saying. Maybe I know them weird. If everybody weird around you and you think you are right, then we don't know. Jura say one of my neighbors might get along. One of his neighbors not getting along. Interesting. Anybody else? Because there's 23 people in the chat now. I know some people come in the chat and they don't say anything. But just tell me what your neighbor think, man. How would your neighbor describe you? How your neighbor describe you? How your neighbor describe it? Tell me your neighbor describe you. Huh? What your neighbor say? You're thoughtful, you're considerate, you're a whatever. You know, what your neighbor think about you? I have a reason for my question, you know. Come here, talk about my neighbor and think about me. Let me know. Well, I'm going to start with this and I can have a long list to talk about tonight. But anyway, what do you think your neighbor would think about you? Do your neighbor think you're considerate, you're forthright, you're a pain, you know what? What do your neighbor think? And also, what would your teachers say about you? So I'm just asking people, your teachers, your bosses, your staff, you have staff. If you play football, your coach, what would they all say about it? Is there a theme that they have about you? Or is all distributed about how they think about you? People, you can't use the chat, you know. I can't type fast. You can't call in. Just curious. By the way, just come and hit my like button. Nitro is a typical Jamaican man. You see that? Typical Jamaican man. You can't just say she's a nice lady and she's a beautiful personality and a good heart. You have to go with the physical attributes of the neighbor. Jura have new manager and you can't tell what the manager think about him. Jura says teachers loved him. Wow. It's a good one. So let me talk about me first. In 30 seconds, each of these questions. What do my neighbors think about me? They don't know me, so they can't think about me. And that's a fact, people. I've lived here for a long time. I don't think I talk to my neighbors. I don't talk to my neighbors at all. I go and I come. I don't spend time talking to neighbors. It's really sad, actually. But I don't. No matter where I've lived, it's in the same way. I'm not like a hermit, but it just I have a lot of friends, but I don't get to my neighbors, so they probably don't have a perception of me. And I have a friend of mine in their neighborhood. They have a block where everybody engaged. They go to each other's house. And I used to be on that block a lot, and I watch them. But they're mainly ladies, though. The men don't really get together. The ladies get together, but I find it interesting. My teachers, I think my high school teachers hated my guts. I think in college my teachers loved me for some reason. Yeah, in high school I got suspended twice. In primary school I got suspended once. I'm gonna write that in my book and my book. But in high school it was tough because I wasn't taking no, you know what. I think some of my bosses think like my high school teacher did. I could be a difficult student. I didn't have time for teachers who know what they're talking about. I struggled with that. And with bosses, I got along with most of my bosses, but that's not true actually. The more senior I got, the more I was cantankerous with my bosses. No, in high school, so I went to Russie's before. I went to Russie's for 3 years and Casey for 2 years. I got along with some of my teachers in Russie's, but that didn't turn out really well because what happened was, should I even talk about this? Yeah, I'm going to talk about it. I had some challenge with a teacher and they told me, they suspended me indefinitely, people. And you got to think about those times, you know, teachers were dictators. They told me I got to come back to school when my mom comes to school with me. And my mom didn't live in the neighborhood. Took her 2 weeks to get there. So I was out of school for 2 years. It was 2 weeks. It was crazy. It was crazy. And I'm going to give you guys a story. When they came to the day, and my mom was somebody everybody was afraid of, probably except me, because I wasn't afraid of getting beaten. And she didn't really beat me anyway. But it was funny because they put me in a room with about 7, 8 teachers, and they all said the same thing. Just like how Jogger's talking about, people think he's weird. They all said the same thing. He's smart, but he talks too much. Maybe that's why I'm on this channel. He's disruptive in class. I was like, I'm not disruptive, but if I ask you a question, you can't answer it. It's not a good thing. But anyway, but I love Russies though, to be honest. At KC was different. Because when I went to KC, they used to call me country boy. They used to have this country town thing in Jamaica, which is so asinine. And my first 2 months was a nightmare. It worked out after that because I did my schoolwork, but my first 2 months, it was crazy. But anyway, what my bosses think of me, it varied, right? I think I have too much Jamaican in me to really engage with bosses a lot. If I think about all the bosses I've had, I got along really well in the military with my boss. I didn't get along with some of my bosses in my big accounting firm that I work for. You know what? I had one boss at a major investment bank I worked at who and I got along brilliantly, phenomenal. I get along with quite a bit of my boss. My last three jobs, me and my bosses had challenges because they had big egos, and as a Jamaican, your ego is also up there. So it was a difficult situation, but it worked out well. I worked at those firms for a decent amount of time. So my bosses were mixed. My coaches, it depends. If my coach played me, we got on brilliantly. If he didn't, I was a nightmare. So that's the about coaches. If he didn't play me, it was a nightmare for the coach because I had a mouth. If he played me, everything was wonderful. I had one coach who played me all the time, and another coach who didn't want to play me. It wasn't a good relationship. It was a good relationship. What do my niece and nephews think of me? I have no idea. Well, that's not true. It depends on which one you talk to. The ones who have to study how many hours a day, I don't think they like me. The ones who are past that stage, I think they love me. So it's different. It's different. So that's my whole coach, boss, staff situation. Yeah, Casey's a different place. I loved and like Casey. I loved Russies. First of all, me like go school with woman I go. So I never say about that. Me like go school enough woman I go. Me only go Casey for whatever reason. Even though I love the name and all that, and some of the people I met there, but I must admit, Russies was awesome. Because at Russies, I went from primary school to Russies, so I went with a lot of kids who were with me in school, so it was an easier transition. Russies was a hard transition the first year. So anyway, that is my introductory topic for the night. My nephew came to me the other day. No, 2 days ago, and I got to go follow up with him. And he's supposed to write an essay, and he wanted me to read the essay. And I said, well, you need to write the essay first, and then I'll read it. So, and he said, well, we have to write it manual. And I said, no, type out the essay or go to Word, read the essay to Word, take the writing and send it to me. So he did. And I said, so where's the essay that you wrote? And he says he wrote. He's like, this is the essay I wrote. I was like, I didn't ask you what AI wrote for you. I asked what you wrote. You didn't write this damn essay. I know how you write. In fact, you don't even know what some of these damn words you just have this essay means. Why are you giving me this? Well, I know what the words mean. No, you don't. What is this word? It was a difficult conversation. But anyway, let's just say he's got to go write the damn essay. I'm going to read it tomorrow. Let me just say this. Here's my point on that. If you have kids, make sure they learn how to do these things. Yes, when they get to a certain point, they may not need to at some future point in time. It's not about the learning how to even write, because writing is about thinking. Most people think writing is about grammar, punctuation. That's out of style. Word does that for you. You don't need to write how to spell. If somebody spells something wrong because they didn't go word check, it's not about their knowledge, their intellect. You need to make sure they learn how to think, because when you write, it's basically how you think, right? People think that great writing is about, punctuation, they know how to grammar. No, it's about how you think and how you memorize what you think on paper, and you can disseminate to an audience who can interpret what you're saying, and it makes sense. Yeah, Brian, you try to put a fast one on me and I realize that I argue with AI all the time. Somebody give me an example. I'm going to read this. Me and AI argue all the time. AI is learning and it's getting better. So I put in Google, how many countries in North America? And it says 2. And I said, what the hell are you talking about? What do you mean 2? It said 2. I said, no, there ain't no 2 countries I said North America. What are you talking about, Google? So then we argued for a while, and in Google admitted I was right because it's 3, right? That's stupid. And then I asked Chat how many countries are in North America, and it says 23. And I said, "What do you mean 23? It's not 23, it's 3." And Chat said, "Well, oh yeah, you're right, but you know, the way we're considering this nowadays is that we have Bahamas and Jamaica and all these Latin Americans and Caribbean countries as part of North America." I was like, I wonder if Trump is writing goddamn Chat and AI. And here's my concern about AI. Black people are not involved in coding what goes into AI. That's a concern. So nuances, cultural situation, things you may want to find, you ain't gonna find it because he has been trained on it. It's been trained on certain things specific to a certain group. I'm sure Deepak in China is the same in some respects, but it's going to be more global because it's open source. So they're going to be taking contribution from everybody. These things that we're not part of the whole conversation. We're not part of the whole experience. We're not part of none of this. That's why we got to force our kids to go learn the STEM, because that's a problem, major problem. And it was interesting having the conversation. And it brought me to a point to say this. You know, when I was in high school, I think I knew, there's about 190 something countries in the world now. When I was in high school, there was much less countries. I won't say how many. But I'll say this. We had to learn all the capitals of the countries in the world. So I would walk 2 miles to school every day when I was in Hanover, and I would learn all those on the way. And I had friends I walk with, we'd repeat them, and we'd be biting ourselves in the back, and we know all the capitals. And I hear my nephew have to know U.S. capital. So what's the capital of New York or California or Kansas? And it's always some remote place, right? New York, Albany, Sacramento, California, whatever it is. Jersey's, Trenton, when nobody goes to. It's never the main cities. And I sat back and said, what the hell does knowing the capital have to do with a slice of bread? How would you ever use that information? Why is that important? Isn't that useless knowledge to have? No, seriously. Isn't knowing the capitals of the world or knowing the capitals of countries or states, isn't that a useless knowledge to have? How does that help you with one iota in anything in life? I'm like, we have people learning things which makes no sense to their daily life, will never make sense to them, and yet they have to learn it. Isn't that like stupid? So I'm nowadays I question stuff. That's like I keep telling my nephew, if you don't know this stuff, you can't challenge AI. So you're gonna be using AI, but you haven't done your research to figure out what the answer may be. So when AI gives you an answer you think it's right, AI go get this information from different source, and may pick it from the wrong source. So you got to be very careful. I thought that was interesting. And if I ask AI to give me a picture sometime, it gives me Caucasian picture most time by default. If you tell it to, I don't want this picture, I want another picture, it gives me something else, which is really interesting actually. So by default, it defaults to certain things which it's been trained on. Good evening, Ted Dexter. How you doing? I was watching something the other day. So if for you something in the chat, please go and watch my video on is she cheating, and hit the like button so we can get enough views out of it. I spent time doing that video. And by the way, I did a Trump video the other day with not much effort, to be honest. I put it on my Balance View channel, which had 192 subscribers at that point. And I came back a few days later. I think I have about 2,000 views and about 32 new subscribers. So maybe that's where my future lies. On Balance View doing Trump stuff. And Trump's going to be here for probably 8 or 9 more years because he's not going to give up the presidency after 4 years. So we have enough material. Something I got to work on. I just read where the judge in the Adams case. So I'm giving you news of the day, people. Adams case Judge Ho is the name. H.O. is the name. He's Asian, supposed to be very brilliant. He's the one, unfortunately, being charged with this case and to assess or review what the DOJ has provided to him and what Adams people have provided to him. And he basically says, well, Adams people and DOJ are in agreement that they're going to postpone the charges until like November, whatever. I'm on. What does that mean? Oh, no, Ted Dexter, I'm showing my versatility. That's what I'm doing. I'm showing my versatility, tackling any and every topics. Every topic and every topic I tackle. I run from anything. So if you see me at the love thing, if you see me at the politics, if you see me at the social justice, if you see me at the sports, So I pressure my people around me to improve their knowledge of various things. Don't be one-dimensional. So the judge is saying he wants somebody, because the prosecution and the defendant are in agreement, and there's uproar about this. He wants them to have an adversarial, so body have a counter argument to what they're saying. So he selected a conservative lawyer to do that. I'm not sure if that makes any sense. I thought you would get somebody more liberal to do it and make the point. But anyway, I think he just wants somebody to put something up and he's going to let it postpone. But what Trump and his people are doing is that they are they're holding Adams over a fire and say, you got to let ICE into New York, and we're not going to absolve you of all the charges. We're going to keep it over your head, and then we may not charge you a future point in time. Adams is so desperate, he agreed to anything. Who is Jamaica's queen, Nitro? In Nitro, who's Jamaica's queen? I'm not afraid to interview nobody in Nitro. Tell you that. And by the way, let me just say this about those who voted for Trump. If you voted for Trump and you're in any of these organizations where DOGE, which is Department of Government Efficiency, run by the far right racist apartheid baby Musk, if you're in any of those institutions, you voted for Trump and you get fired. What do you have this thing they call you played yourself? You fired yourself. You fired yourself. Okay? If you got fired, you're working for that agency, you're working for 15 years, your pension was in sight, and it got taken away from you, and you voted for Trump, you fired yourself. I empathize and sympathize people because I know these people have families, but you asked to be fired. So don't cry to anybody else. Cry to yourself. And I've been watching all these videos of all these Trump MAGA people. I'm going to do a show on that, by the way, probably next week, who are now having buyer's remorse. We don't want no remorse. If you're stupid enough to vote for him, then you deserve what you get. Sorry. I can't forget 2016 I was in England. No, 2017 I was in England. I think I've said this before. I had a New York hat. And I was in the Tube, and the Tube is a subway in England. And some Caucasian guy came up to me and said, I can't believe you voted for Trump. And I didn't get what he was saying until I realized what he was saying. He believed that a lot of Americans voted for Trump, which is kind of stupid, and English people are smarter than that. This wasn't an American I was talking to. And he said, I can't believe you voted for Trump. No, I didn't vote for Trump. I would never vote for Trump. I think I have more class than that. At least I would hope I do. Yeah. But it's sad that some people can see their head from, you know what? It's just amazing, the mindset. And then I heard Dodge says that they're saving so much money, they're going to be able to give $5,000 to all the sort of adults in the U.S. or whatever it is. You know what that number works out to be? They only save like 40, what? How many billions they save? Less than 200? What the number is? They keep moving the number. You know, to give each person in the U.S. 5 million, there's about 200 million people in the U.S. over 18 years old. So if you give them 5,000, that's over $1 trillion. They just say these things and do these things, and people believe they're crap without doing their own research and their own due diligence. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. What's my next topic? Maverick. So I listened to Maverick the other day. I tried to call him to your show, by the way. You know, people in Jamaica, you gotta up your game. You gotta become more professional. I need some water. You gotta become more professional people. So you call the Maverick program Sports Explosion, and the phone rings, right? I guess they have their own little side phone that they give the regular callers to. The phone rings. You call from US, you know, it's like US dollars because they don't know WhatsApp. You have to buy either phone card or call directly. The phone rings, and it either goes busy or it rings forever, and then they hang up on you. They don't tell us, they're sending no message, you know, saying, hey, you know what, we're busy. You know, they just hang up on you. And if I call 2 or 3 times and it's happening, I just said, X you, I'm out. Right? And I tried to call a couple of days for different reasons. Because they were talking about some stuff which I was just like, you know, Maverick goes very topical when he talks about certain things. Whether it's his videos or otherwise. I listen to him actually because he's smart. People say he's not smart. He's smart. But he's very, I wouldn't say he's manipulative, but he knows how to generate views and he knows how to do the vibes thing, which is a good thing, which I probably need to learn. But anyway, So we're talking about basketball. We're talking about what's the advent of the three-pointers, and people calling and said it was a Splash Brothers and Steph Curry and Thompson and blah, blah, whatever. I heard no one said this, which is important. Maybe they did, but I didn't watch the show all the time. Paper play to them say 55 billion. Yeah, 55 billion is not going to translate to 5,000 per person. And then you may have to pay tax on the 5,000. But anyway, and this is like a grant that I'm going to give versus taxable income. So, and I heard him talking about, I'm saying, okay, blah, blah. And Maverick is like, oh, yes, XYZ. And yeah, it's when Steph Curry. Yeah, Steph Curry's at Davidson, came out. Knicks almost drafted him. He went to Golden State, played really well, had ankle problems for his first few years. But the real answer is, because you're going to fix things, you got to think about root causes. People, when technology, you got to think about when technology when data became pervasive and when data became important. People started really using data, like in football or any other sport, any other discipline in life. Data is not the most important thing you have probably about there. As you think about just life in general, it's about how you get the data. We call it data. Use that data for your own purposes, sales, whatever it is, health, whatever it is. That was the point where people start realizing that, you know what? If I shoot 3-pointers versus 2-pointer, if my percentage of shooting 2-pointers was, say, 50%, right? So if I shoot 50%, I get 2 points for it. If I can shoot a 40% clip for 3-pointers, then in essence, if I'm shooting 40% for 3-pointers, that's 60% as compared to 2-pointers. So why wouldn't I shoot 3-pointers? They worked out the math and said, you know what? If I can develop the ability to shoot 3-pointers well, that is why I should shoot 3-pointers versus 2-pointers. That's why I see the propensity of 3-pointers. Everybody starts shooting it. Now, obviously, kids are going to follow some of their idols who do this, but that point never came across, and I was very disappointed. But then again, as I said, it's a very topical show, so you have to think everything with a certain flavor to it. So the Maverick still second, because what I know is on Maverick channel, if you don't ever disagree with Maverick, you don't get the nonsense meter. But he never gets a nonsense meter. He never talk a lot of nonsense sometimes. So he basically said, he was talking, and he talks about this topic for weeks, people. Even 2 months later, somebody bring it up again. Because upon the kind of discussion. But anyway. So he was talking about influence of music. And he basically is saying, I'm a paraphrase, which is music can influence you to go say, commit crime, for example, right? So if you are a DJ who sing them gun song, that can't make no man go shoot nobody, right? And him and different people argue, Pioneer, like and rate, and he's a very smart guy, argue, say that, you know what, that can influence people, and we can differ on that. But then I heard him talk more lately about Bob Marley, and Bob Marley talking about I Shot the Sheriff, and he's saying Bob Marley could influence people to shoot people, but to do certain things. And I'm saying you can't have it both ways. You can't say on one end the gangster DJs can't influence, but then Bob can influence, because they're all influential. The degree of influence may be different, but they're all influential. So anyway, it's surprising. And then my last point on him is that he's been talking about this thing about Liverpool, because I'm a Liverpool fan, and Liverpool favorite versus favored. His view and perspective is the favorite at the beginning of the season is the favorite for the entire season until they're no longer mathematically be able to win, I guess what I'm saying. And even then, the team that comes after them, like Liverpool, is favored, not favorite. And if you go look at what favorite means in the dictionary, it's the team that has the most likelihood in anything in life to win, right? If you do the mathematical calculation, don't use no bookies, Liverpool at this point is most likely to win. So they're the favorite. And even now getting this for a month. And him sure saying right. And him beat him chest. You know, look at shot man, they go on there, he boots up himself. But anyway, that was my point on Maverick. You know, so me like beat Maverick. But me can't get a chance to call him to beat him, so me have to beat him by my local program. But nobody now watch. Well, I should say that. We only 52 people I watch, or 62 people I watch. All right, so me I'll start rant now. This is our ranting chat. This is our ranting night in the FIFA. It's our ranting night. Jamaica's understanding football. It's a ranting time now, people. Ranting. You can sit down, you know. Ranting time. I don't think he studies sports. I think he knows enough to be dangerous. I think he knows enough to be dangerous. I'm not going to say he's not smart. He's smart. Nobody can talk impromptu for a while and make logical sense in a number of instances. But he has these sometimes archaic, chauvinistic and different perspective, which is hard to digest sometimes. But I'm not saying he's not smart. Because somebody may have different views from you doesn't mean he's not smart. But no, he's not in depth as one would be. I expect him to be, because he's probably doing a ton of things. He probably don't have time to peruse certain things. Before the game said, do I have Maverick envy? Yes, I do. A bad mind when it comes to Maverick. I can't understand him have 80-something subscribers and me have 2,000. I'm if he's my program better for him. So that's true. There's some envy going on. There's no hate, but there's probably some bad mind going on Kranky fight. So may I admit it, they're probably bad mind. Because I can't understand some people can't talk English and they have so much views and I can't get no views. I struggle with that. Maybe it says more about audiences than me, or maybe my perception of life. But I would admit that I'm not hypocritical when it comes to calling out myself. I agree with that. Maybe I'm a bad mind. Plus, I do rate Maverick's ability to just talk about topics without just off the cuff and be logical in certain ways. It's a good attribute to have, right? Good attribute to have. Orange says, Carr was always good. He used to shoot three as a youngster in Toronto when he played for Raptors. No. He was always a good shooter. But I'm saying the whole concept of why most teams, or all teams, not shoot 3-pointers is not just a Curry thing, because not everybody have Curry's ability. It's more of when they do the calculation, and they have these data analytics and data analysts who to run all the math. That's why every sport have data. When you go do your contract nowadays, before the game, you should know this. They're looking at the stats. When we watch game, don't we go look at the stats? How much passes you made, how much blocks you have, how much headers you have, how much your passing accuracy was. It's all data. That's what people use to inform their view and make decisions. That's why data run the place. If you go into a corporate environment, it's the same thing. Data run the place. Run the place. Don't nobody fool you. It's all about data. Data. So, okay, we'll talk some official stuff now. Jamaican under 17 postmortem. If I drink some water again, people, excuse me. So let me say this, people. First of all, I got some information on the under 17 about how they were sure they would go to the World Cup. They had the Jamaican arrogance. Everybody confident. Coach, players, administration, them done book thing. They might have booked something we can't even talk about. And it never work out. Come people, hit the like button. I'm going to quality information. But they were poor in a lot of areas. Now, the Jamaica team was better than El Salvador. You can't convince me otherwise. Bigger, faster, stronger, more technical. But the coaches weren't better. And it was proven. Somebody said about the kids look like they don't eat a meal in about 2 weeks. Not to denigrate these kids, but they just look flimsy. They look frail, some of them. Jamaica kids are big, strong, quick. But the coaching, and even though I know Freddie really well, and Freddie's a great guy, and Freddie's been great to me when I engage him in any environment, the coaching wasn't on par. It'll be nice to Freddie, me say this. The coaching wasn't on par, Freddie. It wasn't on par at all. And I know Freddie, by the way, me say this. Freddie's going through a tough time. His wife, he put out there so I can say it. His wife has cancer. It's a tough time for him. So I'm not sure he was distracted throughout this process, because those situations can be damning and difficult and hard. But it was poor coaching, seriously. And I also learned that Cavaliers had 5 people in the group. The manager was Cavaliers. The masseuse was Cavaliers. I think one of the assistant coach might have been Cavaliers. The equipment manager being Cavaliers. The goalkeeper coach was Cavaliers, his assistant coach. But 5 Cavaliers people. Seem to realize that everything we have these events, they're Cavaliers, players are Cavaliers people. Now, there's nothing wrong if you have all the best people on the island, but is it an objective process? Or is it that one person just dominate the JFF and do what they want to do when they want to do it? So when the person come complain about how me bad mind and them win money, and me have to laugh and say, you don't know me, my youth. You don't know me. People think me I pick on you. No, I'm picking on the flawness of the JFF. I'm picking on the president who's not doing his job as he should be doing his job. You see me interview the president on my channel. I like the president. I think he's a great guy. But he's not being accountable. When we lose, he don't come out and take his punishment and fall on the sword and say he's going to fix it. You see me wrote that letter today saying what they should be doing a postmortem. We had no postmortem for the under 20. We probably get no postmortem for the under 17. What we get is the under 14 to camouflage ineptness. Now, I keep saying this, people. So, Kranky, wrong time starting. I'm in a roll now. We keep saying this, people. We keep trying to talk about the Caribbean and we win this in the Caribbean and win that. When last have we lost anything in the Caribbean? And more importantly, when last have we won anything when we leave the Caribbean? When have we stop it, man? Have we stop it? It's getting annoying, ridiculous. It shows a lack of competence. It shows a lack of thought. It shows a lack of strategy. It shows a lack of accountability. It shows a lack of know-how. It looks like we don't know what, I have used the term, we don't know what good looks like. We're in this little fish bowl. We're in this little bucket and we don't know. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, maybe stop me from rant and get myself in trouble so nobody come interview on my channel again. Okay, no people start ban me now. Good night. Good night. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Let me turn you up. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. How you doing?
So you can't save me. All right, save me. You know, me need to save me. You know, me up on a roll. I have no filter. A friend of mine from corporate who is Asian called and I text him and say, how you doing? And he texts back and say, you know what? I saw you on your channel. That is so you. So you can imagine what it was like in corporate, right? A difficult person to deal with sometimes. But go ahead. This is not about me. It's about you, Colin.
I call him because I find it interesting, and I think everybody, most people say the same thing. I think you started, and correct me if I'm wrong, you started the conversation, you said that the Jamaican team was better than the El Salvador team. They were bigger, stronger, and faster.
No, I'll say more technical.
More technical, you said, right? Yeah. Bigger, stronger.
Every respect. The only thing that they have an advantage, they were not home. That's it. Everything else.
Right. Okay, so
but no, that's not true. Sorry, but and also in the coaching department, it didn't look like we were better at coaching. So go ahead.
Right. So when you look at young players, especially that age, right? There are other things that you look at other than the physical aspect of it. So bigger and stronger could lead to explosiveness, right? They could be more explosive if they're bigger and stronger, right? There's a potential for that. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Right. Okay. But did El Salvador win the game because they had more of a winning mindset than the Jamaican team? Was the game intelligence superior? Okay. Did they have better control? Better ball control, better control of the body. There's a whole lot of things that go into what we would describe as talent, right? And most of the times coming out of the region, the conversation doesn't take those things into consideration, right? So when we talk about the game intelligence, the ability of players to take in information and make decisions and execute that at a speed that is consistent with the game at the highest level at their age. It seems to me, my observation is that, and people may not be aware of it, that we don't believe that our kids in the Caribbean could learn to play football from a cerebral perspective. Because everybody, and you would agree with this, everybody talks about, let's play to our strengths. What is our strengths? We have speed, right? That's SPEED, right? We have speed. But the Mbappe has speed, Vinny Jr. have speed, Rodrigo have speed, but they have a lot of other things, right? That speed is educated speed, right? They have a lot of things that go with that. And out of the region, not one team from the English-speaking Caribbean qualified for that World Cup. So that speed is not doing anything for us, right?
Yeah, so I don't blame the kids, as I said before, and I made that clear when I first came on. I blame the coaching, both in the infrastructure, when you go to Jamaica and you talk about grassroots, through high school, and now at the understanding level, I blame the coaches for that loss. and I blame the coach for the players, as you're saying, the mental acumen, the cerebralness of their ability to adjust the situation when you're on the field, to maybe pivot if they need to carry this coach's instruction if their instructions are right and allow them to win, to make good decisions when they're on the field. That thought that need to take place, that communication need to take place, it's not there because the coaching in Jamaica is poor. In fact, it's beyond poor. And if you say that, people get upset with you because they're like, oh, come from overseas and think they know everything. Yeah, we actually have gone away and be educated a little bit differently and can come back with a different perspective. You've been in the same environment. You're not changed. You're not doing nothing different. Same old, same old. Wait, one second. I think you got dropped for a little bit. Okay, go ahead.
One of the things that happen, we have to have, for lack of a better word, not trying to disrespect anybody, is honest conversations, right?
No, I disagree with you. We can't have honest people in the Caribbean. They don't listen. They don't care.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
They don't care. They don't care. They only think about themselves. They don't give a damn about no country.
We spend the last 12 months trying to convince people, which is essentially what they were doing, that if Kranky went and get a coaching license, that he's a good coach. Right?
Right.
I agree with education. I agree with coaching education. I have no issue with it. It's important. But it only informs 20 to 30% of who you are as a coach. Right? The other 70 to 80% comes from your informal learning, your trial and error in training at games. So you got to have years of experience to go with that coaching license. It's a great starting point for a young coach to go and get his badges, right? Even a coach has been coaching a long time, because the coaching education does provide you, just show you better ways of communicating, help you decide, understand what kind of leader you are, and it can inform you in terms of what kind of leader you want to be. There's a whole lot of other things that is valuable from the coaching education. It helps you with leadership, right? All of those things are important. But from the coaching perspective, teaching the kids how to play the game, the whys about the game, your tactical acumen, that comes from trial and error. You don't get that in a coaching course.
Well, I'll push back a little bit on that and say this, which is this. Which is, don't disagree about the practical versus the theory, but we got to be careful that when you're in a learning environment, which is a structured environment, there's certain fundamental principles that are probably accepted on a global basis that's being relayed to you. They can incorporate into what you're doing. You could have practical experience, but it's continually bad experience. So you don't get the exposure you need to. Now, if you are smart enough in the practical environment, so you have no coaching license, but you engage with people in different circles, like I see Pep does with like Bielsa, for example. You learn from people who are experts and get that intelligence and inform your view. That's different from me, because the people in Jamaica, we could say they have a lot of coaching experience. They've been coaching since they're 20 and they're now 70. They don't know a damn thing about coaching.
Well, there's
and that's practical, right?
Coaching, right? Yeah. Right, but if you have not been exposed, as you just mentioned,
right,
into the the right environment and learn from the right people, then you'd be trouble, because most coaches, they start with their experience as a player. That's the full set of information that they have.
Yep.
Right? Their experience as a player. And either they go down that road, or they look at it and say, well, you know what? I'm not sure about this. Right? Let me try to understand from someone else, another perspective, and identify people. So, but I think my point is this, right? And what you said is correct. And my point is this: we cannot continue to let people believe that if you get a license today, that's going to determine who you are as a coach. The license is important. That information that it provides is important, but it's a very small percentage in terms of who you are as a coach.
Here's where we're going to put this. The more risk you take and the more you overcome those risks, the better you become. And that's in every discipline in life. So if you sit in a little environment, do the same thing every day, you ain't going to get to be great. If you challenge yourself, if you do what I always label it, and I tell my staffs all the time, if you get comfortable with the uncomfortable, you can do amazing things. So you put in an environment where you're not comfortable, things are strange, things are different, it's a change environment, and you can adapt and you can excel, that's a whole different thing. And this is no different for coaching. You keep doing the same thing over again, learn from the same people, the same nonsense methodology and standards and processes and how things should be executed and done on the field. And you're going to be relaying the same thing to the kids and they're going to make the same mistake on over again. There is no way Trinidad, Jamaica, I'm going to use those two because they're bigger in the Caribbean, right? I won't even use Cuba because America has destroyed Cuba. Those two countries should not be doing better in football, given the quality of the athletes that they produce and given the fact that we keep hearing about this resources stuff. Look what Haiti does. Look what Haiti does. Haiti is a failed state. And most time they may not be successful because when you're a failed state, things don't work administratively they should. But you can look at their players play and just like, what the hell? Yeah, they're much bigger than Jamaica population-wise and Trinidad. But it shows you that you can get, I wouldn't call it censored or nonsense, you can get these gems out of difficult situations. We're not seeing the talent level. We don't see anybody at no certain class come out of Jamaica. It's not happening, or in the Trinidad of late. It ain't happening. And that is go to the coaching to me. The coaching administrators. The coaching administrators in the Caribbean have been poor. They're not even average. They've been poor. No vision, no strategy. Yeah, we have some people like, what's his name in Grenada now, who's there and he has a vision and he's trying to put that in play. But it's not mature yet. So I can't say he's great until it bears fruit. Most of them have been poor. And you sit back and look at it saying, and then when you talk about it and you try to push anything about other people, they push back on you. What have you done? You live this. And you just like, they look in their little world. They set up the world so they can fail. Fail from the perspective, you know what? They can't be replaced. They have the same old people, Trinidad, Jamaica, doing the same old damn thing, having the same outcome year after year after year after year. And to listen to the same shit.
You know, I know you're familiar with the legend, the honorable, I don't know what else to add to his name, but you're familiar with Bob Marley, right? I'm sure you're familiar.
No, I don't know who Bob Marley is. I'm young. I'm too young for Bob Marley. Well, Bob Marley died in 1980. I'm too. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, the people in your chat may know. Bob Marley had a quote where he says, "The biggest coward is a man who awakens a woman's love without the intention of loving her." Have you ever heard that before?
What Bob Marley know about that? Didn't Bob Marley have like 101 woman? But anyway, keep going. Somebody wrote that for Bob. Did somebody write that for Bob?
Yeah, you know, I heard that, and I want to draw a parallel with that. It is almost like we football exists in the region, and we are saying to young people, this thing is there. You could make a living off of it. You can go and we create that love affair with the game, but we have no intention of investing the time, the human capital that is required to help them acquire the skill set they need to be successful. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have them fall in love with the game, but as adults, we have no real intention of helping them reach that level. Give them the tools to be successful at that level. And that is what for me is a little bit disheartening, because when you watch the football, we see 15 and 17-year-old kids all around the world. And we just 8 teams from the region, nobody from the English-speaking Caribbean.
Well, I'm gonna forgive the Grenada and St. Lucia just based on population size, right? St. Lucia performed really well to me in the tournament.
No, forget. I think population, putting it on population size.
If you have 100,000 people, 100 to 3 million, it's a little bit difficult. You only have so many players to choose from.
It's a little bit.
I think the optimum size is like Trinidad. 1 million people to me is the size where you don't have an excuse.
Well, then Trinidad is 1.5 million.
That's what I'm saying. Trinidad has no excuse. Jamaica have less excuse.
Right. So at least those 2 countries should be part of that conversation.
Yeah. Yes, they should. Yeah. Look, there's no excuse for no English speaking. Look, I had to put that out. Man, say love all of them.
Yeah, that's not possible. Is that possible?
We don't know. By the way, people, go watch my show I just did on the 10 red flags. You know, if y'all get bun And if you know if your woman a cheat on you, go watch the show. Drop a video. It's only 12 minutes, people. You know, I'm taking enough of your time. Go ahead, Andrew. I have to plug my show.
Information. Let me just ask you: is the information in that show based on personal experience?
Everything I do, there's always some personal experience involved. If you haven't got bun, you haven't lived. Let me say this again, people. If you haven't gotten bun, you haven't lived. You don't know about life. You don't know about life. You ever get bun and enough cheese for it too. Enough cheese for it too. If you haven't got bun, you haven't lived. And by the way, if you're from Jamaica, you have gotten bun. So if you say, "Boy, I'm a yard and the stress out," you have gotten bun. Trust me, you've gotten bun. And if you don't know you haven't gotten bun, then you're even worse off than I thought you were. But keep going. Keep going. You got bun. If 30% of the population are jacket, if 70% of people have doubt, a jacket, get jacket, and not everybody will give a bun, get a kid, yeah, get bun. That bun probably about 100%. Probably 110%.
That's a difficult environment to live in.
It's a bun environment. It's a bun environment. Everybody have bun. Everybody, Jamaica love bun, you know. Bun and cheese are one of my favorite dishes. So them love bun. So them give bun like it go to style.
Kranky, I believe in football we can do much better than we're doing. We can do way better if we commit ourselves. Guyana is smaller than Trinidad, is smaller than Tobago, and I looked at them in that tournament, and they have made tremendous progress.
Yes, yes, Guyana, yes, they have, and they continue to make progress. Actually, even in cricket too. You're seeing the change in Guyana for some reason. I don't know if it's the oil money, but you're seeing some changes.
And we, I know I could speak for Trinidad, and I'm sure Jamaica is the same since 2008.
Claudine said, "Kranky get bun. I remember it has so the bun hot. Hey, there's nothing hot like bun. Let me tell you about that right now. The bun looks like we go to the microwave with some cheese night, the cheese, and you know when you melt the cheese in the bun, nothing hot like bun. Because when you give bun, you have to expect to get bun, but you don't expect to get bun when you give bun because you think you're smart. I don't know. So why the bun hot like cheese? Done there. Go ahead, Andre.
All they playing with serious business there, though.
Nah, man, bun hot, man. What?
Do you think at this stage of your life you can handle that now?
No, I can't get no bun to stay myself. Because I don't want to know. Let me tell you, Andre, I'll give you a story. And this was me getting, I guess I was giving the bun. One time, you see, I went to visit somebody. You know, I said, I have a friend who lived out of town. Me camouflage, I say. Myself not in trouble. Yeah. And I would visit that place on a regular, right? Just because I had family living there. And I would visit this person when I go there. So say I go twice a year, I'd visit them, right? I'm at the person's house. And the person's seen somebody who lived out of town. They fly like every weekend. And the person's telling, and the person on the other line is saying, "What are you gonna be doing later?" And she say, "I'm gonna take care of myself." And I'm sitting there, Andre, saying, you know what I'm saying, Andre, to myself, and I'm there, Andre. I'm saying to myself, so this could have been happening to me. So, that's all I'm thinking, Andre, which is I could have been the other person on the other line getting bun. So nobody's safe in life. I'm like, I wasn't thinking, because I'm always thinking of the contrarian view, you know. I'm there thinking, well, I'm Jamaican woman and rough in a star, rough, bad. So when Jamaican woman talk, you have to laugh. And say, I said to myself, no, I could be on the other line making the call, and she's sitting there saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna take care of myself. Me all right. Don't worry about it. Me all right tonight."
But that day you wasn't on the other line, but there might have been a day that you was on the other line.
I'm sure I was on the line. I'm sure I was on the line probably more at one time.
No, but with the same 3 people, the same 2 people.
No. That it wasn't a religion. It was you know, you go to town, you have, you know how NBA players are. I'm not gonna say I'm an NBA player. You know, you go to that town, not somebody you know well from long time. You know, the far friend, and you engage with the far friend. I want them think, and you said to yourself, say, but all I was thinking about that whole period, I'm like, and we're not, the person's there talking, love talk to the other person, you know, Andre. And yes, I only said to myself, say, but boy, in a rough start. This could have been me. I walked away from that situation stressed. And I wasn't the one getting bored. I was stressed. I wasn't the one getting bored. I was stressed. Stressed, Andre. I walked away thinking, that could have been me.
There's
Damn.
a scene in Trinidad. You cannot play mass and fruit powder.
What is that? Translate that for us.
Well, when carnival time, sometimes people, one of the costume people play like sailor, and they have powder that they throw on people and stuff. So if you're gonna play mass, you had to expect that they might throw powder on you. You can't run from powder.
So here's Claudine, who's always defending the women, by the way. Woman can't nothing wrong for Claudine. No matter how they run, can't nothing wrong. Claudine said, Jamaican wouldn't have to be rough for God's sake. The doing Jamaican men, dogs on them. Yes, I would agree with that. Jamaican men are, and we're not qualifying it. We're not saying some Jamaican men. Jamaican men are dogs. Jamaican men are dogs. They're dogs. Period.
Damn.
I'm not qualifying it. I'm not going to say some here. No, they're dogs. They're dogs. If dog is being promiscuous, they're dogs. In fact, they made the dog look good.
Claudine didn't qualify it either. But I'm gonna stay away from that one.
No man, Jamaican men are dogs. Jamaican men are dogs. They're dogs.
There's a whole saying. There's a whole saying. When people tell you who they are, you don't doubt them. So,
no, they are.
I could just listen.
I know we are making this a relationship program now, but like I said, people go watch my show. If you're a young man, because I'm seasoned now, I don't worry about these things anymore. If you're a young man, because we have been beaten down so much, we don't worry about it. If you're a young man and you want to know the signs of whether or not the person you're seeing may be stepping out of the house and stepping someplace else, then you have to go watch that show. And by the way, this is my last point on this, Andre. And people, and right now, I had a friend of mine was telling me somebody at his job. They weren't Jamaicans, but at his job, the husband would take the wife to work, right? The husband would pick the wife up from work. So there is no window for her to do anything, right? The wife is at home all weekend and in her presence. So the only time she's out of his presence is when she's at work. And him still get bun. Anyway, he still get bun. You know when he get bun? Tell me when he get bun, Andre. Tell me when he get bun, Andre. Tell me when he get bun. Tell me when he get bun. You get one lunchtime. You get one lunchtime. He forgot to pick her up for lunch and take her back to work for lunch. You get one lunchtime on a regular. Yeah, she had always been at work, man. Right?
They really wanted to do him wrong. But
yeah.
You know, football have the ability to change that if we create the right environment with these young men.
I think football has the ability, as you do in your academy, to teach people right from wrong, to respect each other's, to do the right thing, to think about the implications of decisions you make and the implications of those decisions, and how decisions can hurt people. So I do think, on a more serious note, that football, if done the right way, is about life lessons and can do some of this.
Yeah, it can do a lot. It can do a lot of it. But we've got to recognize the potential. Tell Juros, I don't know what he's talking about.
Just Andre, they're thinking about other ways. You know, I do a bunch show, and you know, people, I do a bunch show. I thought about doing that show live, and the one I did today now, but I said, let me see it run first, and then I may just take it and do a bunch show. And you can come and cry on my channel, those of you, because what someone man do, when you get bun, you can't take bun. No one do something to the woman and do something which is ridiculous. Because man, if you hit woman, if you not get bun, taking a bun in style. Because when you get bun, nothing can change and only time can help you to get bun. You can't drink all the water you want to drink. You can't run all you want to run. You can't play ball. You have to play ball. Oh, you not hurt. Oh, you know, you have madman. Oh, you know, people like me not hurt, man. We understand the process. Oh, you know, when you, as Andre said, when you have the practical experience, because they can teach you. I don't want a classroom with anything now. When you have the practical experience, you don't worry about those things.
it doesn't mean that I have that experience, my friend.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. Andre would know. Andre would know. And those of you, don't pick your wife up from work at lunchtime. I'm just giving you one example. It's a remote example. It doesn't happen normally. Oh, this is fun. No, but back to the football, Andre. I would agree with you. The coaching in the Caribbean is so lacking. It's amazing, actually. It's very lacking.
One of the things that I've noticed, there's a lot of clubs, a lot of academies, a lot of people involved in the game, coaching the game. And when I peruse websites, if for those that exist where you talk to people, you don't find values exist, right? So a football club have values, and values play themselves out on a daily basis in different ways, right?
Yeah.
And you integrate it into your exercises. So if you have to figure out if integrity is one of your values, you integrate it into exercises. You hear the kids hear you using these words regularly, and then it becomes part of their psyche, right? Part of the understanding, and they start to practice it. But the values don't even exist. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Whether it's integrity, whether it's commitment, whether it's loyalty, you hardly hear anybody that is teaching the game to kids talking about those values.
Yeah, let me digress about saying this. Claudine just put you said a Claudine comment, Andre?
Hold on, I just, you get an advertisement. Maybe you have plenty likes.
No, she said, I've never got one. Anyone who knows me know I don't care. I don't share well with others. He wouldn't dare. He's not Jamaican. Keep going, Andre. Oh, he's not a real Jamaican. So that's the one I know.
Yeah. You're gonna get in trouble.
He's not Jamaican. Claudine is smart. She didn't have a Jamaican man. But keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, and I think those are the things that the coaching education could provide you. That but a lot of coaches, and there's a statistic on it somewhere. And here, when they do coaching courses, they try to get coaches to understand. A lot of coaches do the courses, and when they go back into the environment, they continue from where they left off. Right? They're not utilizing the information that they got, because what they do, they went for the license so that they can have a seat at the table, because that's what it really does, right? It gives you a seat at the table, so you could be considered for the next job.
Right. Yeah.
And the information really, they don't implement it. And there's a lot of good information in coaching education, from that perspective that people could implement. So we have a lot of work to do, and we have to. I think the personality conflict, right? We don't need people that we like to coach. We need people that is good, people that could make a difference and get us to where because I am struggling personally with the fact that nobody is going.
Right. Yeah. No, I look, it's not it is not even forgivable.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's not forgivable. They've watered down the World Cup, watered it down to nothing. They say you only have to play 3 games. Think about people. You only play 3 games to get to a World Cup. Not even 6 in 3.
Yeah.
And by the way, 2 of them are gimme. You only have 1 competitor for each team. You get a tough one. You get Costa Rica, right? They expect to beat you. You're expected to lose to Costa Rica, and you gave them a fight, right?
Right.
Jamaica is not expected to lose to El Salvador. To Honduras, maybe. To all the other teams, Costa Rica, Panama, of course. Not to El Salvador.
So, and that's an interesting one. I would ask the question: why is Jamaica not supposed to lose to El Salvador?
Because if you look at the level of the country in terms of football and their history and how they play and their achievement and their ranking, all the facts inform a football program, I think Jamaica is ahead of El Salvador. I would be saying Honduras much closer. El Salvador is getting better in life in general. They lock up all the bad people, so them can't go up on the street and do things nowadays. Lock up most of the bad people, because Jamaica has 50 murders per 100,000 people. El Salvador only had 128 last year, right? So they're in a better place and they're getting better. But at this point, Jamaica should be better.
We know football is heartless, right? So sometimes the better team don't always win, right? but you can see that a team was better. You take the Trinidad game against Costa Rica. My argument is that the intangibles is what beat Trinidad. The intangibles. I think the fact that the Costa Rican kids are in pro clubs on a daily basis,
right?
Versus the kids from Trinidad playing schoolboy football. They had some kids from outside, but the professional environment creates a mentality that is different to the kid who's not playing in that environment. And I think that's really because when you look at the football, you look at the stats, Trinidad was right there with them. You watch the game, and they were right there with them, especially for the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think what people fail to realize is that there are a number of people in Jamaica who believe in the local talent, the local football, and they see people playing Jamaica, they look good against their compatriot, and they think that's the standard. Don't realize the standard has risen, and they're at the same place, and they have moved. So they don't want any help from anybody, administratively or otherwise, because they think they know everything about everything. They accuse others of being the way. And then they go out and they fail miserably. And then here's what bothers me. So I'm going to beat one of my favorite people in the JFF, Dennis Chung.
Yeah.
I'll beat Dennis now. Dennis, I'll beat you. So don't take it personal. Because I know how you do this. I must you. They came out and said, for the Trinidad game, we had 101,000 people. And the US only had 102. So look how close we are to the US. Yeah, Ray. But maybe I'm a pessimist. I come out and says, yes, the fans are interested in Jamaica football. Yes, the fans want us to do well. First of all, your stream was poor. Second of all, the US show their games free. So most people ain't going to go, or they show it on cable on Fox Plus. So they're not really free on Fox Plus, which people have. So they ain't going to go watch no YouTube and they can watch on Fox Plus. If they go check if you add up the numbers, it's materially different still between who watched the US game, what Jamaica game. Third of all, a lot of people in the US have distracted, watch other sports. They ain't watching football all the time like Jamaican people come out and watch it. Right? So there's a difference when you do the comparative. It's not apples for apples, probably more apples for oranges. But having said that, 100,000 people is a lot of people. They had 115 for the two women's game, they had 100,000 for the first Trinidad game. Great. But the product you put on the field was poor, and you want to have the support. And we want to support you, but you got to do better. Now, you did a gracious thing by saying, you know what, the second one is free, even though I'm PFP 30, so it doesn't really matter, and they're already free to me. Right? But you have to do better. And but Dennis is embracing, because Dennis is smart enough to realize this, he's embracing ideas outside of his current domain. The technical construct of the JFF needs to be totally washed out. Every single person in the technical department needs to be washed out. Dash way, as them say in Jamaica. And bring new blood in, dash them way, new blood in. Me no care who in there. But the technical director, head of technical committee, they don't know what them I do. Them feast them walk pan sky, they don't know what them I do. And I get more frustrated every single day watching the nonsense. And I love the football and I love Jamaica and I want to do well. But enough time I say, you know what, I sort of turn them off, yeah, man, because we can't watch incompetence rear its head on a continuous basis. Continuous. Somebody's calling, Andre.
All right.
All right, sir. We'll talk.
All right. Good.
Yeah, man. Buenas noches. Hello? Hello?
What you're looking for? Buenas noches. They just chatter up the old.
Wait, this is the first day on my program. Oh, you stop having me up.
No, I have you. But no, I have the proof. Now I have the proof.
What proof?
See, I can wait. I told you.
No. My mind. No. Let me say this to you. My mind hasn't changed on that. I had the lesser of two evils, and I chose I chose an evil which I'm not going to change my mind on. Trust me.
No, you chose an evil, and that evil is giving you what you're getting now.
You say like the people who vote for Trump, and the people who vote for Trump.
The time will come, and you will see and understand. So I stand by my choice.
So we both do. My choice wasn't. Look, my choice was a thoughtful choice. So I understand where you stand. And look, I'm not on the ground like you. I know why you chose what you choose. the person you choose to run the organization, I couldn't see voting for that person. I think he was the worst of the bunch.
No, but you fail to look at the team. And as you realize, no, the president is really just a head figure.
Yeah, he's a figurehead. He's a smart. Look, he's not a dumb person. You know, he's a smart person, but he's a nice person, but he's a figurehead. Yes, I agree.
I repeat again, and I don't want you to get sued, so I'll say this: who you call the conflict boss, you supported him. And I've said this.
No. Back up. You can't say I support the JFF and the conflict part of the JFF. Say yes, by default, I probably support the conflict boss.
The team, right? And I'll say this to you: he is the cancer. He's a cancer of Jamaican football. Right?
I would say this to you, Cataract. I find it hard. So let me position that. Anything said on this program is not always the perspective of the owner of the channel. But I totally agree with that comment. I'm telling you, I totally agree with that comment. I totally agree with that comment.
So let me start, and then I don't have, like, the sound is going to be playing on hours, so I'm going to have to leave.
Well, I thought you were the warm-up act.
No, I'm not. You keep believing it. You keep believing that.
I thought you want for the be and DJ them. What do you mean you're playing? What time is it?
You keep believing.
No, you haven't played no, because you warm up. You warm up. Because a real DJ come on like 2 o'clock in the morning. You warm up. Oh, I can't go. Hurry up, so you can go warm up.
Well, if people don't see the big selector, they're not coming to the party. They're not coming to the party. So I'm gonna do half of my thing on football and half on bun, right?
Yeah. All right.
Let me choose the easier one.
This is Cataract dissertation on the Jamaican football and bun. Go ahead. Floor is yours.
No man. So let's start. The under 17, right? Yeah. And I believe the under 17 has ominous signs for the senior team.
Yes, totally agree with that comment. Yes.
In Jamaica. And I asked your good friend, and Anthony Grant, good friend too, because them are Chelsea Cumberland, right? When Grant was here and he went up and watched the team and those things. Chelsea man stick together. But the coach had a fundamental error, and I kept asking, when are you going to have the camp in the United Kingdom?
Right.
We are building teams backwards. I believe you start by selecting elite players. And when you run out of slots for the elite players, and then you add the hangers on and the banger.
Right.
So I first believe you must cover Jamaica, the US, and England.
Yes.
Europe, England and Europe.
Yes.
England, it's the #1 league in the world. Why would you have, and I heard you said 19, I didn't know it so much. I heard they were battering around looking for a goalkeeper, and there was a goalkeeper in a Premier League academy. So I don't want to hear that. And as I know it, and you can probably go through the positions and name, and I understand that we have to protect the minors because they would be 16 years old. So I don't agree with giving out the names, right? I didn't know about the ones from Wimbledon Academy and stuff because I had just stopped at who I knew and heard of from the Premier League academies. I think is about 2 or 3 of them went on to represent England.
Yes.
Is that the truth?
Yeah. Under 17, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, can you confirm that they dismantled Turkey?
I think they gave them 8 one time and 3 one time or something like that. Some big number.
And that's the same Turkey.
Yes, that give us 10.
Team. Okay.
So they would have got about 18. So if you do track the number, they got about 18 from them. But yeah, keep going.
I just want to be clear.
Yes,
right?
It's the same one.
We have players who indicated an interest in representing Jamaica. Or who were identified, and we made it's an insulting thing to tell a man, pay your way, come here, to tell a child to pay your way. This is not a professional who is earning 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 25, 35,000 pounds a week to fly away from here. I want to say this again. I think I should say this. The majority of players, Black, Jamaican, African, who are playing in the leagues in England, they are from the estates, the projects, the poor part.
Yep.
They are not rich.
Council house. Yep. Council house crazy.
With the red door. The council house with the red door. Everywhere except Leeds.
I don't think people realize what poor means in England, you know. I think they might think mistake England poor, America poor.
To put on the heat in the winter.
Yep.
That's what it means. You have something there, a gas card that you get from the government so that you can get gas for like an hour in the night. And then you have to seal up the door and the windows with blanket so the air don't escape out under the little door jam part.
Yeah.
So they are not rich. The majority, I mean, one's like Bobby Reed, who mother I think was a counselor, I think Conor Boyce Clark mother is a lawyer, advocate, or the legal field. There are a few, but the majority are fighting their way out of poverty. They're fighting their way out of gangs. They are stepping out of their house and leaving the estate and the councils past drug dealers, past man. I say, yo, come juggle a 1 kilogram and take. They are resisting temptation and they are trying to go the right way. And I believe it's a serious disservice what is done. Right?
So you see, you and I are not far off on different stuff. We agree on certain things.
And I'm hearing Owen say they don't want to fly them in. Because I heard about this thing about the cost of flying them in. I am 100% sure, because I checked this. The cost to fly a Jamaican team of 23 or 20 to Turkey, each ticket costs more than it costs to fly a player from England to Jamaica. So don't tell me.
So, Cataract, I have a more cynical view. I think they were so overconfident, they wanted to show they could make it without those kids. They want to show that Jamaica has the ability to get to the World Cup, leveraging US players without those kids from England. And they failed miserably.
It's a miserable failure.
Yeah.
So, because I only kind of part of your program, so I'm going to refer to it, but I don't want to jump around. I want us, like we had in the debate, to have a reasonable thing that leaves a indelible mark in Jamaican football. Because I won't let a man have channel now and just chat, pop, right? I believe it's something more cynical. I believe it's an orchestrated plan not to have youngsters commit to Jamaica because there is a fear by those who are conflicted that those players will become embedded in the Reggae Boys system, go on to do greater things, that there will be no place for the shopping window players.
Yeah.
So I believe a man don't want a youth like Riley. A man don't want a youth like Roman Egan Riley, CJ Riley's brother, the cup of coming at the squad. Because he's going to be a centre back at a Premier League level in the next 5 years. And so we have itch up around the team where we are white. Now we can push him out because he's coming from a pedigree. And you know that his brother is a pedigree centre back now in the championship, right? So for me, they kept saying, and the narrative was, the players don't want to commit to England, Jamaica, because they're waiting at England. Now we have a deluge of players of teenage years who are saying, Jamaica, but thing there. And it harkens me back to those 3 letters written by Ben Godfrey. I will never stop talking about those letters. Remember, I had to, in those days, it was coach's desk. We had to go and I came and I presented, and you were in agreement at the time, the evidence from the Yorkshire Times and the other papers about that published the fact that the youth was literally begging at age 15 to come into the Jamaican program. His coach from York City wrote an endorsement for him both to Leeds United at the time and Jamaica, saying any club or country that would not take up on this youth, you have to be blind, because this is a Premier League level central defender, which he has turned out to be.
So I have a question for you, Ketterak. I have a question for you. How come you live in Jamaica? You're there for a while. You're involved in other activities, but you don't seem to have the same mindset as a lot of people on the island. Is it because you have sort of lived outside Jamaica, get some more experience, have a different perspective, a more global perspective? What do you attribute that mindset to? Because I'm struggling with the mindset, seriously.
So I want to say this. It has to be international exposure. Number one. But also, I believe in the case of football, I believe a small minority of people who have the bully pulpit are using it for their own good. I sat in the stands in Arnett Gardens. I didn't go to Captain Hall, but I sat in the stands in Arnett Gardens. And no one was balling for local players in the senior national team. You know what the sentiment was in the stands? Yeah, don't worry about it, man, because none of them man can't touch my national team.
Yeah, but Ketterak, that comes from the performance and saying, because I heard, Ketterak, I heard Conflicts boss, Ketterak. I heard Conflicts boss says on Management Channel, there are 4 or 5 players he saw that could elevate to the national team.
Well, that's why is in the mid-table.
Yeah.
You see, you have flashes. In order to be an international footballer, right? I mean, at a level where you can migrate into the top 5 leagues, there are some things you have to have. Discipline, skill, technical ability. I'm sorry, I have to keep quoting Anthony Grant because I learned a lot of football from that man, right? But the last one he said was consistency. A coach has to know that when he puts you on the field, whether to start or to come on with 10 minutes to go, he's going to get a consistent performance. What he paid for and what he's expecting. And my issue with the players who are here domestically, they'll play a nice game for a game or 2 or half a season, but they can't do it 2-3 seasons in a row. They don't produce consistently at an elite level. So I don't know the 4 or 5 players. And if you're seeing 4 or 5 players, then you're really in trouble, because you had 2 goalkeepers, Richard King, Tyreek McGee, Josh and Anglin, who are already in Coach Halvinson's setup,
Right.
centrally and on the fringe. So you're telling me if it's not those 5 players, then whoa.
No, I don't think he was thinking those 5 players. So I heard him say on I heard him say on I heard him say on Oral Tracy's program that he has a Cafu and a Roberto Carlos in his team. I don't think I'm misquoting anybody in saying that. Cafu and Roberto Carlos in his team. He said that. After he won the Caribbean Championship, where he was on his high horse and everybody was praising him, which he deserves some credit for, but let's see how when he play against the big boys and play. And he said that. And I sat there thinking, if we see Cafu and Roberto Carlos in Jamaica, first of all, how do you make that assessment given the level of competition? And second, do we need to see them play against high competition to then draw that conclusion? I could say I have 2 good kids with a lot of potential. I think they're going to do well. And I'm going to try to get them to play high competition so they elevate their game and we can see how good they are. But to call them Cafu and Roberto Carlos, it makes it seem like you don't know football.
So I don't know who they are, because everybody who played right back at the game, that means Robinho Gordon and Kyle Ning, and Christopher Ainsworth and Irving, I think his name is. So
somebody's saying it's Ming and Ainsworth, they're saying. I thought Ming was decent.
So let me take a step back then. In 2021, when Granty was going to Central America, Kyle Ming, you remember the player who gets selected and never have a passport? Remember that drama there? With Uber? That was Kyle Ming. So if you're telling me 4 years later,
okay,
you were still on the fringe of the squad when you were in a World Cup squad 4 years ago, something wrong.
Yeah.
And you have not moved, you have not matriculated from the JPL in those 4 years. So I believe you know what I watched Kranky yesterday? I watched about half an hour of Botafogo versus Club Racing from Argentina, right? I think Botafogo was winning 3-0 or so. Racing was beating Botafogo 3-0. But I actually sat down and enjoyed half an hour of football at some man that I don't know. I have no interest in none of them. However, I find it hard to digest. 45 minutes. I can't watch 90 minutes of the Premier League. Cannot watch 90 minutes of the Premier League. Right? JPL I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But it is a difficult watch. And I want to go back to those Trinidad games. Team against team. Right? And when we had our most of our best players, because I don't think Pinnock was available because his wife had the issue with the baby and whatever. We beat Trinidad's A team. Our A team was 3 goals better than Trinidad. We dismantled them 4-1 in St. Louis.
Yep.
Yet over 4 games, B team against B team, meaning apples against apples and oranges against oranges. They're unable to separate themselves by more than a goal.
Once again, Andre, Cataract. By the way, Crystal from Talawa TV is in the chat. People, please go over to her channel, Talawa TV, and subscribe. Go ahead.
Right. This one was even more, was worse for me because let me tell you, when you watch football and you want to be analytical, Jamaica literally lost those games, right?
Yeah.
Because when you score in 86 minutes and the 96th minute, right? All the good footballers are off the field. It's just, I've been talking the B team now. So this is really the C team now. A kick around. You change goalkeeper, you change everybody. Every man I get a game. So I look for performance. Because believe you me, the result really spared us. The result spared us. And the last thing I would say is the other thing that I was doing is I was looking to see those players who are on the fringe. How do these players stack up? Where do we have issues? We have issues. Let's begin at left back. Amari Bell is out. We have Greg Lee. Greg Lee has just gone down, although he has been starting for Oxford United, scoring a couple of goals, getting a couple of assists. Right?
You know, I get a name. I got a name for somebody put it for Exeter. Damn, what is the name?
Left back.
Yep.
You don't want nobody for Exeter left back. The JFF must make immediate inroads to Tyreek Mitchell.
No, Tyreek Mitchell don't want to play for me.
Miles Lewis Skelly.
Miles Kelly, please. Miles Kelly play for England. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying to you, that's the kind of recruitment I am expecting.
No, I know, but we don't. The kid's name is Dimitri Mitchell. Is his name? I'm watching play, so I was given his name by somebody as somebody with passport.
I don't.
No. Before you say no to anybody, as I always say, look him up first, and then we can talk about it.
I know who Dimitri Mitchell is. He was in Scotland. He was in Scotland.
He was at Hibernian, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Not.
I don't know if he's good or not. I'm just giving you a name that was given to me as a possible person with Jamaica passport and a possible. He's what, about 28? Yeah.
So I'm saying to you that when you look down the line, right? Okay. I don't think we have found the backup left back, right? Now, when you look at right back, neither Ming nor Robinho Gordon, and I think it was a bit unfair for Robinho because he didn't get as many minutes as he should have gotten to show us what he's about. But for me, you call back Javane Brown because none of the two of them can walk in Javane Brown boots. And Javane Brown was discarded.
Javane Brown, okay, let me not say anything directory. Is not the answer. Let me just put that way.
No, he's not the answer, but I'm saying to the two players who played across those two windows, who would you be more comfortable coming on the pitch?
None of them. None of them. None of them. Let's go. I just say, go recruit somebody. There are enough Jamaican people out. You can translate somebody to left back. People, in today's football, I keep telling people this. Like, so Arsenal played Marina center forward the other day. You can find people and transition to a different position that they haven't played because you see certain skill sets in them. We have seen it more and more in football because coaches are forced to do it. And because they have no intuition or no view and no greatness about how they assess players. I use this. Iwobi, Joey Linton, Marina the other day. There's about 5 or 6 players in the Premier League nowadays playing out of position, supposedly. Timber is not a left back. He plays left back. Lewis Kelly's a midfielder. He's not a left back. And he's playing left back.
No, but he's technically competent.
But that's the point I'm making, which is go find somebody, put Latibeaudiere on there.
No, I agree. Latibeaudiere can go in the right back.
He left back, right back, he can play on there. I seen him play on the left side against the US. He was brilliant.
I'm not gonna go there with you.
No. When he played defense against US, no. He didn't play midfield, no.
Yeah, I know.
When they were playing their whole half of the whole game, you forget that we almost beat the US. But anyway, keep going.
No. So I'm saying the other position was striker. Who is going to take the boots of Mikel Antonio? And I am quoting verbatim in the stats. Verbatim. Man said, give him Mikel Antonio with him broke foot. Because he wouldn't miss those chances.
Yeah, look, I mean, Antonio is better than anything that we have, right? Even though he may beat Antonio sometime, but he's better than what we have.
No, man said with the broken foot, with the cast.
Yeah.
Put him on the field.
Somebody said Roof is back playing football, actually. Roof is an option.
I've been wanting to hear about it. Where did he
I don't know. Somebody just text and say he's back playing football. I have to look him up.
I'm going to check. But go back to those names 1 second if you can, Kranky. Because I want to give my comment on them. I'm not sure what has happened to my friend. He is able to start.
Who?
I'm not a fan of Ben Johnson. I'm not
the names.
Right?
You're not a fan of who?
But I'm not a fan of Des Spence.
Jed Spence? Cataract. People, wait, back up. Cataract, back up. People, Cataract just has been, Cataract, people, Cataract has been drinking tonight. He's been drinking tonight. No, Mr. Something, I mean, I want nobody to go hurt you. Cataract has been drinking tonight because he not just say something about Jed Spence. Say Jed Spence. Cataract, where you talk about Cataract? I bet Jed Spence be on the cusp of the England team. Let me tell you that right now. He's probably on the cusp of the England team.
Cusp of nothing. He's on the cusp of anything.
Okay. Cataract, you want bet? People, we do this in a public domain. Cataract, you want to bet some money?
Public. The youth from Newcastle is who they're looking at for left back.
Cataract. First of all, Jed Spence. You guys know Jed Spence? No, Cataract. Let me give you some history. Jed Spence. Wait. No, listen. Jed Spence. Nottingham Forest. Arsenal. Martinelli looked like him shut down Martinelli.
Yeah.
That game alone, because Arsenal fan talking, took him to Tottenham. Our boy Conte didn't like him, sent him to Syria, came back from Syria. Postecoglou didn't play him, played him because of emergency, and now he's a fixture in the team. There's a reason why. The kid have all the attributes to be a very good footballer. I think people say he had a head problem when he was at Middlesbrough, another team. He may have settled down now. The kid is good technically. He's physical. He got height. He got athleticism. The kid has all the attributes. I heard, if I watch AVTV, I heard, what's her name? If you hear them talk about him, he's getting laudatory comments now. He's not a nice to have. They're talking about Idogi, got to come back and sit on the bench because Jed Spence has to play. Come on, Cataract. What are you talking about? Jamaica, I would love to have Jed Spence. He was approached, by the way. I won't say what happened. He was approached. He was approached. Yeah, I'm done with my lecture on Jed Spence. I don't know what you're talking about. Cataract misspoke people. Me watch Jed Spence for the last 3 years play football. Me understand football. Jed Spence can walk in a Jamaica team over anybody we have right now. Amari Bell, Greg Lee, Lambert Keys, all of them.
Right. Mad.
Easily. There's no competition from them on Jed Spence. None. Trust me.
Amari Bell.
Amari Bell, yes. Amari Bell, yes.
Is a decent left back. Decent. Not good, not very good. Decent. Stable left back. I'm telling you, in all you went on, you start when he riot against Arsenal in the FA Cup.
No, that's where people saw it. That's where people saw him. He was on loan, you know. He was on loan, not for some Middlesbrough. He was on loan, you know, because he probably has like a Ravel head case. I would say not Ravel, but I want this cost him aspersion on the player. His attitude wasn't the right attitude, right? They loaned him out to Nottingham Forest. I watched him against Arsenal 2-3 years ago. He totally made Martin look like he can't play football. That's how they beat us. He shut down the whole side of the field. Come on, Cataract, man. Expect better from you, Cataract. Come on, man. Come on.
They didn't even want him in the dressing room.
Yes, but he apparently has changed. He has kids can be, you know, you talk about the difficult environment kids come from in England sometimes. We don't know what his environment is, but he didn't have his attitude the right way, is my understanding.
Okay. But I am not gonna say don't get Jed Spence a passport and he's significantly better than Kyle Ming. Well, I don't know if we need him because Jed Spence is no Cafu, and apparently we have Cafu.
Jed Spence is closer to Cafu than anybody we are talking about. Jamaica, trust me. No, man, Jed Spence. I watch Jed Spence play all Tottenham games because I watch a lot of football, you know. Jed Spence is quality nowadays. The man had him at right wing the other day. Cataract. The coach put him at right wing. The coach didn't take him off, you know. Take off the madness of the world and put Jed Spence at right wing. That's now you're in the coach's eyes. You have elevated your game to a level where you have to keep you on the field some way, shape, or form. Yeah, Jason Guna says Spence play a couple of matches and already passed. Yes. Jed Spence has to be on too close radar. Jed Spence and what's his name? Look at Cataract must get Jed Spence and Miles Kelly ahead of Tyreek Mitchell. Cataract, I'm getting a call. Cataract, I'm getting a call in this, so I give it 5 more minutes. Cataract, 5 more minutes. Jeremy, call back in 5 more minutes. Cataract was on. You know, Cataract when he comes on, is he has his own show. But go.
You have to join into the call. As I said to you, I'm here to chill.
No, I'm not. I don't know how to join no call. I'm archaic.
Because I'm seeing madness happening now, where Tyreek Mitchell is number one in the pecking. Tyreek Mitchell has been doing this for years, and a boy business when it comes to Tyreek Mitchell.
I watch Cataract. The one thing about me is I watch Premier League football, not just any team. I be sitting here in front of where I'm now, watching 2 games at once, right? Just like I watch Champions League with Liverpool and Man City, Real Madrid game. I'm telling you that Tyreek Mitchell makes a number of mistakes in games, which cost Crystal Palace sometimes. He's a very good player, don't get me wrong, but nobody beating on the door for Tyreek Mitchell to play for England. He wants to play for England. He thinks he can play for England. Even when Luke Shaw and all them injured and have no left back, they ain't calling Tyreek Mitchell. There's a reason. You know, when Luke Shaw came play, they had no left back. They put Trippier around there, who's probably about 100 years old. They're not calling Tyreek Mitchell. I bet you Lewis Kelly and Jed Spence get called up, or Lewis Kelly may, Jed Spence may not, but Spence is on the radar. And if what's his name, if Lee Carsdale was still the coach, in that cap Spence and that cap Lewis Kelly already. Can cap everybody, so Jamaica and nobody else can get them.
So in a serious note, so let me use up my time. I believe in the pecking order and left back. Everything should be done to get Tyreek Mitchell. I've never really been a fan of, but I will accept that Rico Henry is a quality left back, right? And Dead Spence, I would have to accept that he can play left and right, and therefore that sort of versatility is always welcome in a team, especially when you're putting a team together and you want players who can play in a number of positions comfortably.
No, we want players who can keep the ball. That's what we want. Players who can keep the ball. We want players who can keep the ball. We have a number of people who can't keep the ball. They get pressure and turn fool.
We don't keep the ball. We don't keep the ball.
No, but I'm saying people like Spence can keep the ball. They can input that into the team. We can get cover with people when Low get the ball, not kick it on the field and pass it to Spence. Spence pass it inside to Lati or somebody else and then pass it back to Spence. Versus get the ball and then just go into the atmosphere and we have to struggle to go defend.
So my number one in the pecking order, because time is running out on us. My number one in pecking order, I mean above everybody, I'll tell you, is Kyle Walker-Peters. Right? I think Kyle Walker-Peters is a better left and right and left back than anything. Somebody has explained to me what's in that kid's head. He's a man now. What's in that man's head? And I am all in on Max Aarons. I believe Max Aarons. I don't know. I just believe Max Aarons is it at right back in terms of the level of
Spence better than Aarons. Spence better than Walker. Him better than Aarons. Cataract. First of all, Aaron get banished by him coach. That's why them get rid of him, right? He's a good player, don't get me wrong. He was young player of the year at one point in the championship. He's a good player. But he's not. But Jed Spence at this point,
he has a lot of Premier League experience.
He does, but he's dropped off. Apparently he's dropped off. Or not at the level. Because Bournemouth moved the table, you know. As he moved the table, he got pushed back. Right?
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. And I couldn't I couldn't explain it, but I saw that. So you are right. You are right. 100% right. And that's the question mark that I have. I'm going to try and check up and follow up on him in Spain. I hope he's reset himself. But, he's willing to play for Jamaica, right? He's willing to play for Jamaica. He's willing to play for Jamaica. Of course
he just need to go get his damn papers. Need to go get his papers.
I'm all in on him.
Huh?
The two other issues I'm going to go quickly because I'm going to leave you the challenges. Up front, I'm really worried. I'm really, really, really worried. But that's for another show. But Cameron Archer is my man. Cameron Archer, I know he's not prolific now because that Southampton team stinks up the joint in the Premier League. But at the championship level, he was a devastating striker. I saw him against Leeds. I have to give him his props, and I think he would different kind of striker than Antonio. Not a like-for-like striker for Antonio, but I believe, him and Keenan Davis. I'm not a fan of Keenan Davis, but I understand.
He's in the pipeline. He's in the pipeline.
Like for both,
Yeah, Keenan is a decent player. I could pick the Jamaica team. But first of all, people, let me say this. We can't talk about the JFF no more, man. Maybe talk about JFF and get frustrated. The JFF is conflicted. Let me say it again, people. The JFF is conflicted. I mean, Kranky, why? Why are they conflicted? Because they're trying to manage the situation where they want to bring local players and develop local players and give them exposure. And it's a zero-sum game. So if they bring English players, it's going to be expensive, those positions for local players. Now, the JFF has a soft quota for the national team. Don't get it. They have a soft quota for the men's team. The only this nonsense about they have no quota. The only team in Jamaica don't have quota is the women's national team. They have the women's senior national team. The junior teams have quota. Every other men's team have quota. The quota is soft for the men's team. So people talk about the men's team have no quota. No, that's not true. I don't care what you want to say. And tell me. I don't want to hear it because I can't see it. My eyes not deceive me. The problem we have is this, which is the JFF don't have a recruiting strategy to bring in players from overseas, a very comprehensive one, to go out. If Simon, I get a coach list of people, and the coach just come in, that's not the process. Just like how you had a database, Jamaica should be going out as JFF, and identifying every single player across the globe with any pedigree and challenging them, prioritizing them, ranking them, figure out what their needs are, and find ways to get them naturalized and find ways to bring them in if them fit the coach or the coach will handle. That Jamaica for doing now. And start at the junior level, not the senior level. Because when you're a junior, if you play with a team, you feel some kind of obligation and loyalty.
Of course. And then we can give you a three cap them fast and done the thing.
Yep.
Bad argument.
And start hire a coach with on vacation for the whole time you hire him. Talk about Meran God. Meran pick the players. Meran this. Just chow.
So you are correct in that. So I'm saying that for the next under 17 team, for me, I start in England. I look at those players who are in the elite academies, sieve out and get who wants to get and who wants to do and whatever. And then I fill in the blanks. So I have 3 teams. We are just the luckiest people in the world. I don't know why we see. We can have 3 teams at each continent, right? And we get the best of 3 worlds. Europe, North America. By the way, America is not North America. You have Canada. I don't know how much recruitment went into Canada, whatever. But
it's mainly the US. It's mainly the US.
But it's mainly people who can afford to fly.
Yeah.
I don't think that they went around looking at.
No, people came to them, and they may know a few people, right. But it wasn't a comprehensive recruiting strategy. I keep telling you, the strategic part of the JFF is lacking when it comes to certain things. Lacking.
And we fool ourselves. I did not move a muscle. I only congratulated the team because from the minute we conceded the goal against St. Lucia, I know there was a problem. You see how the under 20 girls I'm dealing with for them thing? 7-up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then we conceded against Cayman. I was like, whoa. So how are we going to keep a clean sheet against a team that needs to win in order to get to the World Cup? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you could, and I don't know if I think I heard you, and I'm going to give you the credit, and I'm going to come in and say this. There are 4 powerhouse teams in CONCACAF now. USA, Mexico, Panama, and Jamaica.
Yep.
If you're losing to El Salvador, it's a bad result. El Salvador is not on our level. We have now stepped above the El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras of this world in terms of expectation, quality of team. Costa Rica is now who we should be battling with for the number 4 spot, Los Ticos, right? But firmly, we're always in the semifinals of the Nation League. We're in the semifinals of the Nation League. We're always in the semifinals of the World Cup. We need to act like a top 4 team. And you know when we're in the top 4? When we don't have a hard quota.
Yeah, the problem is cataract. The recruiting strategy has to be long term, right? You can't just try to fix this symptom and not fixing the problem. And the problem is fixed twofold. The problem is fixed when you do with football on the island and how you set those kids up for success. The problem is fixed when your recruiting strategy is able to identify those people who can fit your program at an early age. You nurture them, you bring them through, they gravitate, they ascend to the program at a certain level, right? We don't have a strategy in either place. We have a bunch of people who like their position, who did their year to year, doing the same crap year after year after year on the corner JFF administration, doing the same nonsense, don't want no new blood, don't want to bring in new people. I know you're going to say, Kranky, you're part of the problem because you support the people there. Probably that's true. But at the end of the day, it needs to change. Now, when I hear toxic boss and conflicts boss in a war, I'm going to go on the side and go on a war. I'm going to leave the football alone. Go do nothing on the side. If you don't bring people through the national team and ain't good enough, we bring them in. But don't leave the JFF alone. Go do nothing on the side. Go war on the side. Not take up space. Not make pure noise.
So let me tell you. So I'm in politics, right? And one of the things you have to do in politics is you have to be able to internal politics, right?
Yeah.
To watch people moving and see who's making moves. So let me tell you this, I'm putting this on the line. This is my assessment. I think I've said it before. I'm going to say it now on Kranky Live. I believe Rudolph that Jamaica, if we qualify, for the World Cup, Rudolph Speed will find a way to fire Steve McLaren and insert himself as the coach of Jamaica because he wants to be the first Jamaican to coach at the World Cup. After
that's not happening. That's not happening.
The president, he's going for the president. I know political snakes, right? Believe you me. You just remember where you heard it first. Remember where you heard it first.
Yeah, no, look, I don't think that's his objective. I think his objective is to control things. He's a controlled person. And I do not think at this point he's good for Jamaican football. Look, people, I get calls all the time about people. The one theme I get called on is this person. You'd be surprised some people call me.
Need chemotherapy, need radiation. So Chris Smith is saying Morocco is still recruiting. Nigeria has gone on their knees for Jacob Murphy.
Not a bad need to go on. He's playing well. He's playing well. He got rid of Amarin. He got rid of not Amarin, the kid from Paraguay. Sent back to Atlanta. Murphy as game has improved tenfold in the last year and a half.
Yo, he dry. Yo, you ever see that boy? He and Morgan Rogers.
Morgan Rogers is a different beast, man. Morgan Rogers is a different beast. Different beast.
You know what they remind me of? Although it's a different position, Yaya Toure.
Morgan Rogers is a different beast. Different beast.
You know, drive at you. I was all along. I had the kid when the man intended to yell, the one at Africa. God damn, it doesn't work.
Now, Morgan Rogers needs to improve decision making, but he's a beast. He's a beast. He's a beast.
When they drive at the heart, they literally scare defenders.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast.
Defenders don't want to see you coming. And so, as I prepare to leave, I will share my bun story. Let me say this. Every man gets bun.
Especially Jamaican man. Them get the most bun. Then get the most bun and get the most bun.
Get bun. I don't think we give bun. I just think we think that we are out there.
No, man, we give no. Kedra, stop that, Kedra. Must stop it, Kedra. Jamaican man, people get the most bun. Get the most bun.
Yes, but we get it back as a zero-sum game.
Okay. Well, no, not zero-sum. For them bun in a different bun, people. You ever know some man who had date? You know, I messed up. Keep going. When I date 6 people one time, man, like different, man. Different.
So let me say to you. I just share a story first and I get my one. I remember reading this story, I don't know if you heard about it. The security guard from, I think, Mountain.
Yes, the one that has the 4 kids. Go ahead.
Yes, and none of them was his.
Yeah. Was it none his or one his? It could have been one his. It may have been one. No, I did the story. I did the story and I did that showing that, you know. I think he had one out of the 4.
No, it's not 4. It's 7.
No, man, a different one. A different one.
No, man, no. He had 4 with one baby mother and 3 with the other.
Okay. Well, apparently he had a job. He's paying for it.
You know? And it's when he went to the United States and he filed for all of them. It's only one. I'm saying.
I think you know some cataract. You know when you get older, you have experienced and seen everything. Not only on TV and the paper, you have seen it with your own eyes. The whole thing about people are filed for people, and people know it's people. It's bad and it's disappointing. You know what get hurt the most? The kid get hurt the most. The kid, the dad may be really hurt, but if you have a kid, say you have a kid, for example, by the way, I have no kids in Jamaica, so no said Kranky, I have the bun. I get them one day. But me sure so me get one. If you have a kid, right, in Jamaica, say the kid is 15, you're 5 for the kid. The kid no happy now. My America go live, get chance to go to college, because Jamaica can be tough sometimes. And then you hear, and my dad, they're America, my dad take care of me. So what does the dad do? Stop supporting the kid? Does the dad say, okay, it's not mine, I'm gone? How does that work? That kid is devastated.
It is.
Devastated. That is unfair to the kid. That's unfair to the kid.
I have not ever even thought about that. But I'm going to share with you my 2 hottest buns. I'm going to get bun all the way.
The bun man.
No, No, me get bun or give bun. You understand? We give bun.
Okay. So a tasty type bun, what kind of bun then? A tasty bun, what kind of bun?
No, let me tell you. From early in my life, I remember, and people, when I was talking, I was in England, age 16, 17. And this girl, she got to be the nicest girl. But I used to leave from South London, go this place named Mozart Estate in West London. Take this girl, go Oxford Street, all about dinner, movie.
Wait. Hey, people, Oxford Street, a nice place in England, you know? Oxford Street, I know it's a nice place, you know?
No, it's an expensive place.
Yeah. Nice place. Let me live at West London, so you know. Go ahead.
If I go shopping, go Selfridges. Bruh, the girl said to me, you have to wait until I'm 18. You have to wait until I'm 18. Bro, I'm waiting, man. And
wait. She said you have to wait till the 18th to talk to you?
To get peace. For a whole year and little until they have, you know, I would say, we'll finally get peace, you know, man. A late night, you know, I'll pick the guy in bed. About a week later, you know, man, the fire start burn. So,
oh, Lord. Ketterak, we got an X-rated program. Ketterak coming up, people. You see me start?
No. People clean. Fire start burn. I know them days now you go at clinic, you know, but in England, if you have a thing called contact tracing, so you get something in the mail that says you need to go to the free clinic and, you know, and get checked out. So I remember we got a clinic or whatever, and they had a numbering system. Like, you grew up in England, but you probably don't have this experience, because you're probably a good lad. So it's like they would have said, patient have a number like 16 or like 8 or whatever, 16, and then it says 1, 16, 2, 16, 3. That's what they said. So me in the clinic, and think, I'll be a black man in the clinic, I would do this. And when you hear the receptionist say, anybody with number that starts with 16, obviously about 12, man. Stand up.
Oh, Lord.
The only man who never stand up in that clinic, one white brother, you know, and me. And the only 2 people when I stand up, now come. The only 2. Me sit down in the car, war broke out in there. Come on. Come on in the car, I'll be a BMW. I have a thing called Volkswagen Golf GTI. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And Saab 900 Turbo. And then the Marcos. Me said the whole, like I was saying, you know Stacy, you know, but so there's no more anonymity about which
That's an interesting story. And that's terrible, actually. What? Where was she? She was English. She's Jamaican. She's Jamaican. Okay.
Jamaican living in England back.
Okay.
Then it's a PG program. So, sit down, I'm having to sit down and wait till everything cool down, everybody gonna see the doctor. When the clinic about to close, the lady, you know, young man, what number do you have? Because we've done everything. Some girl paper here. Did you see? So, the moral of the story is, bro, made it out wait boy, but the thing was busy.
You took a number and you were way down the line. You had to wait a year. Boy.
So, paper, we gotta get one from it on TV.
But by the way, Ketra, I did a show today. You should go watch it. It's about the 10 things that you should look at or you should be considering that give you some idea whether your woman is cheating. and I had a video in there. See, before the game is quoting from the video. I thought it was a very good piece, people. You should go watch it. Go watch it. All 96 of you on the line, go watch the show I did today on Is She Cheating? And or if you know, you get bun. You know, 10 things to think about. I didn't even give you all of it. I just gave you 10 because there's much more other things you could do.
Anytime your woman stop talk or stop cuss.
I'm more than that, man. Stop talk, start cup, start dress up enough, start go up on conferences, start hide our phone can't leave our side. Enough things.
Them are original one, but anytime you see she's okay with anything, your baby, I'm going okay.
Yeah, she's moved on.
Turn back. God. Well, Kranky, what was this thing now? March.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened. It's a damn shame what happened to the stadium. You know, the whole.
Well, no, what time the stadium is not about. The question for the stadium is: are they going to fix the stadium or going to fix the track? What are they fixing?
They're fixing the track.
That's a joke. The stadium needs fixing. The stadium needs fixing.
No, so the stadium is a long-term project, but the emergency to show you, they have flown down a track, flown down experts, 350 million US. Is that? I think that's the code.
350 million for the track?
Or 350 million Jamaican.
Oh, I was going to say for the track.
Yeah, for the track. 350 million Jamaican. Sorry.
So it's about 2 million US. Two something. Okay.
In order to have champs. No, they wouldn't even think of spending that to later.
Is it for champs or for after champs for the event with Johnson is having?
No, but it's for champs because champs is running there.
Okay.
So it has to be ready for them. So, but I mean, the Vibes Cartel concert tore the stadium up. I mean, it tore everything up.
Yeah, that's irresponsibility anyway. That's not a story.
Another story for another time.
Yeah.
But gentle people hit the right button.
Yeah, man. Go up the show for the real DJ.
Go up the show. Let me tell you. Let me say this. I don't know. Everybody has their job. Kranky was an auditor. I don't know. Like I don't know what can be the worst thing, but there is nothing worse than a selector or a DJ than being given the opening set.
And Cataract is an expert. Just like talk about, but he's an expert on opening set.
But this is my time in here. So, barking now. And the only people at the only people in the venue is the market.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. But good luck with the system tonight. Good luck with the party tonight.
People rock on come in. I'll do for the outside, the inside, and the
Yeah, I beg them to go listen to you.
Boy. And then you know the worst part of feel now? You know, and like a man like Ricky Trooper arrived. And then you see about 300 people. And so much people outside and that one of them.
Hey, that's like going to listen to a certain DJ. So I have a question for you before you go. Here's a question for you.
Sure.
If somebody is a DJ coming up, right? And a Ricky Trooper, I don't know what these DJs, but say they are excellent at what they do. Don't you just emulate them? Because if people like a certain style and certain playing and certain vibes, don't you emulate until you develop your own style to at least draw people in, get them to know you, and then you can get to be a little more diverse and flex a little bit more? Why don't you just emulate them and draw? Because if you're emulating them and doing what they're doing, even though you may not have the name power, at least you will get some people to listen to you, right?
In your community.
Oh, okay.
Ultimately, the ones who have stepped out, because if you remember when Ricky Trooper came, you know, he came and broke the mold from Rory from Stone Love, reaching out, and as we move into the groove, we slip and slide. That's not the smooth talking was the thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we enter into Sanchez, leave out the Berrisham, and Ricky Trooper come. So, and then others have come along. Delano, they came with the remixing thing. You have to find a niche.
Okay.
And sometimes it's a voice, because you might be saying the same things, but people have a voice that people want to hear. I can think of Captain Midnight from Super Saiyan. This guy named Nuts from a song named Super D. Some people just have the voice
Okay.
Other people have, if you play the same song, but you will listen to Sky Juice and you see a big belly man play the song, so it's how you present yourself. So you have to throw the mold. If imitation is the best form of flattery, but you're not going to get very far with that.
Okay.
I mean, you'll get found out. So
yeah. Well, Kelly, I appreciate the call. I appreciate the call. Don't be. You can call periodically to the channel because I know we've had some interesting challenges, but we have moved beyond that because I got I won because I got what I wanted with the JFF, but I lost because I got what I wanted with the JFF.
I just had to wait for the right time to call you.
Okay.
When everything began to unravel.
No. They've had some successes. They've had some successes with getting to the Copa and all that. Getting to the Copa was a success. Coming third in the Nations League was a success.
Results against Canada was really
Canada beating Panama in the Nations League. They've had some successes.
Proud moment. That bronze medal and coming within 1 second of reaching.
And could have beat the US without that ricochet goal. So no, they've had some success. Holgrimson wasn't as bad as people think he was.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm a supporter of Holgrimson. I rate Holgrimson. I wish he was here. I believe he would have taken us to the World Cup. I believe he had gotten the guts of his team. I think he was now looking for some of the window dressing to bolster the squad. But I think he had formulated the guts of his team. And I think we're now just trying to redo it all over again with a different manager with a different philosophy. He doesn't have the same philosophy as Holgrimson, so we're going through a learning curve. So let's see what happens there.
All right, so thanks for the call.
So people hit the like button. Cataract is out if you're in Jamaica, 96 Hope Road, Club Kerico, the Cuban club on Hope Road, Cataract. Latin fusion tonight, Yeah, play me some Bad Bunny.
All right, so all right. Have a good show.
Go.
Yeah, man. Have a good show. Appreciate it. All right, people, that was the one and only Cataract talking about a number of different things. Well, two main things, the JFF and the bonding. When you like Cataract, you have those experiences. So Kelly was talking about a few things. Jeremy, you can call back. Jeremy, I apologize for not taking your call earlier. Somebody here calling me. Hey, Jeremy, if you want to call back, please do. I'm gonna say this, which is I'm gonna talk about this. I'm almost close the program down. We've been on now for what 2.5 hours, but I'm streaming longer. But I must admit that they don't feel as long enough because it's good conversation. As I was saying about the under 17, probably one of the most disappointing games I've watched and felt, even though I didn't watch the junior team because I don't believe in watching quarter teams, but I want those kids to win and to do well, regardless of what the intention was, the long-term intention, if we have less English people involved, which I think is part of it, and I'm not being cynical about that. I still want those kids to win and go to the World Cup because Jamaica going to the World Cup. Good night, sir. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, yes.
Yes. I'll listen to you in the background. I listened to you the other day when you were talking about failures and how the JFF go about it. I'm not going to talk about them too long. And the way that them just accepted all the under 17, like they didn't come out with like am I echoing back?
A little bit, but we can hear you.
And the way you actually break it down, right? I hope that they take a listen. How their response, should be.
Right. Yeah.
It's like so we lose and okay, that's it. Next. Right? You keep on asking for the autopsy for the under 20 failure. There's no answers. I'm not going to debate that horse, but it's something that we need to look on and try to get it. Go ahead.
No, I'm going to say, I mean, it's important, people. A lot of organizations and companies and people do this, If I fail at something, why did I fail? If I have a community that I want to appease and make them feel good, and I feel some responsibility to them, I'm going to give them the results of the assessment that I've done. Way back when Conflict's boss used to be on certain programs, way back when, he would say what they do when they play in a tournament, whether they win or lose, the coach will write a report, they'll get the information, they'll assess the outcome, and they'll make decisions based on the outcome, right? Inclusive of whether they retain that coach or not. Nowadays, we just let go coaches when they do well, and even some that don't do well, we still maintain them. So it's an interesting situation where when we lose nowadays, we put our head in the sand. But when we win, we parade at the people who win. We don't win a ton, but the under 14 is the perfect one, which is when under 20 fail, we were silent to hope it goes away. When under 14 won in the Caribbean, I keep saying the Caribbean is not the competition, we parade them out. Now under 17 lost, we'll see what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you know what I do the last 3-4 years? Every time our president or as they call it, conflict boss or anyone of them go on, I keep a copy of what they say and I keep it because they always go back and say something different. The next 2 years or the next, you know what I mean, or the next 6 months or so. So I keep, and that's what I use to judge and grade people. But here's what I want to go back to. I want to go back to that argument about what you call it, Spence, right?
Right.
The Jack Spence. And I saw a thing with Jason with Eddie Boone this week, saying that it's a possibility he may come play for us. Now, I don't know how true that is.
I asked about Jet Spence a while ago. I think I know somebody who knows his family. And that person is in England. I was told that he has aspirations for England.
Yes, and you can't beat that.
Yeah.
Can't beat that. So here's my thing now, right? We short in certain departments. We don't know what this coach is doing. From the time that he said, I remember someone asked him how he does his scouting. He said that he has a thing that he watched the games. I forgot what he talked about. As a game finished, that he can watch it, right? I don't know if he's scouting actively. I'm not sure what he's doing, right? But this is unacceptable. It's really unacceptable. If he doesn't come with some serious players in this freaking window, because the games against US, it really shows that we are nowhere. We're nowhere.
Yeah, the US is not really the true benchmark, to be honest. The US is way ahead of us, by the way, in every respect. Every respect. Yeah. They're not a competition. They're out of our league. Even though let me say that, but right now they're out of our league, right? We can get better and probably get closer. Our competition is below even though we beat Canada in Nations League, that's not reflective of how we are with Canada. Canada, Mexico, and the US, I think, are ahead of us. El Salvador is trying to figure out who they are, but they always seem to end up somewhere at the top. Panama is good. So we're fighting with the Honduras and the El Salvador and Nicaraguas of the world. And a little bit with the Panamas. I don't think people, we got to think about, look at the US players and where they're playing and how they're playing and how they are in their teams. They're at a higher level. Now, you may have one-off situation where you may compete with them really well, but we would have to recruit better to get players with the pedigree to be able to compete with them. We're not there.
Well, Kranky, how do we recruit better? How do we recruit?
So the football administration needs to put together that program. They haven't put one together. They would have a one-off person in England who they might talk to, who's conflicted, by the way, a lot of times, and they don't go out and source players the right way. They don't have a strategy to source players. There are people in England who love Jamaica, who would love to get involved and to help with the process in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't happen. When John Wall was here, John Wall told them, "My under 20 are not good enough. We got to go get overseas players." He was working people in England and in other places to get the players. He got 14 players. One didn't have the passport. Kids who have certain pedigree. They were knocked down by the people who were in the technical department of the Jamaican Football Federation.
Okay. So, Kranky, here's some of the things that I've argued with people about. And here's a few things that I heard. And I feel them are true because I have sources that tell me some stuff when it comes out to be true, which I cannot disclose these stuff. There was a Turkish guy with his father. He was born in Turkey. No, I'm sorry. His father from Turkey, but he was born in Argentina. And the Turkish government, they approached him and said, we'd like you to play for Turkey. And he said, yes. And they said, sit back and we'll do everything. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
They do everything. That guy didn't have to do nothing. Right? They have people come and ask them questions. Then they go and get this document, that document, hand him his passport. Okay? It was done.
Yeah, but those people have influence, right? So let me just say this. I don't think there's per capita. I'm not sure any country has exported human capital like Jamaica. Now, there's some countries like the Philippines export a lot of people. India export they exported 80 million people exported, which is what? Probably 16 times the population of Jamaica. More than that, actually, right? But they exported more than 16. They're about 30 times the population of Jamaica they've exported.
Yeah.
Right? But India has 1.4, 1.5 billion people.
Yeah.
That's not even 10% of the population. Jamaica has exported probably 40-50% of its population. So by default, a lot of Jamaicans will be overseas by descendants who can play for Jamaica. So you're going to have a situation where you have as much people on the island as you have off the island. So the Jamaica you're thinking about, I've said this all the time, is not the local island with 2.9 million people, whatever the number is nowadays. It's the global community because there's so much of us outside of Jamaica. The JFF, I've excluded those Jamaicans. JFF have a rule. You have to be on the island for 10 years consecutively to even be part of their administration. They have found a way to stop anybody apart from their local constituent who are all the same to me. Most of them, I should say, it's not all the same, but most of them who think the same way, act the same way, think they know everything, as they say, I think I know everything, but they're not doing a good job. They're just not. They don't know what a good job looks like. And then you people like Conflict's boss cuss me out and say, I'm fighting against him and I'm bad mind and all sort of stuff. And he doesn't realize I hate to see incompetence. I hate to see things that are not good. I hate to be around a situation which I know is not going to go anywhere and we're not making the progress we need to make.
So here's one next thing I'm going to say to you. I remember the day when I was getting my visa, the day when I was doing my medical, and there was two doctors, right, that was actually leaving, right? There was a policeman. I don't remember how many of us were leaving, but there was several people with some hype, with some good, what you call it, profession, right?
Yeah.
So can you imagine the amount of people that we export each year, right? High potential, right? And so these people leave and they go overseas and they have their children, right? And so I'm not going to say the best talent leave, right? But some good talent leave. What is wrong for us to ask these people to come back and play for us or to give us service to the island? There's nothing wrong with that,
Well, I think it's more complicated than that. So what they're basically saying is this: if they go out and source overseas players, they'll destroy the confidence. There will be no opportunities for local players. And my view is always this: if they can't compete on the world stage, if you give them all the opportunities they want, they ain't gonna do well. If you haven't trained them the right way, because it's your fault, it's not their fault. If you haven't educated them the right way, if you haven't guided them the right way, you haven't taught them the right way, you haven't given them the tools, and you haven't given them the right guidance to be able to compete, then don't come sit here and whine about the overseas players taking money. No. First of all, you're discriminating. Second of all, they're citizens. I don't care about where they reside. Go fix the problem you have on the island because you're the one charged with it. You're the one getting the FIFA money. You're the one getting the government money. You're the one getting the prize money. But you're the one who don't know what the hell you're doing. That's why we are where we are. It ain't that hard.
I agree with Mr. Chung, though. Mr. Chung,
Dennis is doing a good job. Dennis is doing a good job. Dennis don't control the football. Dennis is not a technical director.
He's making some strides, and I got to give that to him. I got to give them some respect when it's due, right?
I give Dennis credit all the time. Dennis is trying to fix the finances, right? The other people in certain roles who are just about themselves, not the country. They know who they are.
And I think that I hear you bring up, which kind of concerned me, was when you talk about the conflict and the interest, who wrote it, who oversees that. And I listened to the whole thing, and that was troubling to me. You cannot police yourself. You cannot oversee yourself. And that was a problem to me right there, right? And I think
that situation, people, I must say this: the president need to fix it. The only person who can change the conflict situation is the president of the JFF, who I like, by the way. I say this all the time. He's the nicest person. charismatic, but he doesn't like confrontation. So he's not managing the situation well. I gotta call him out. He gotta fix the conflict situation. The conflict situation is killing the football. Every time I get calls from people, you'll be surprised. Those people are who basically says, "This is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem. It's the same problem 24/7. At some point, the problem got to change."
Yeah. Scott, here's my last thing to you, and I think we talked this earlier on Crystal's show. I talked about on the midfield, and this is my personal thing. That's our weaknesses. Well, our wingers are not doing that great either. But I think if our midfield is fixed and the service go up front, right to the strikers, I think we have a better balanced team. Even though right now we don't really know who our striker is, because Mikel Antonio is out. Then we have Boza. Who else we have other than those two?
We have what's his name? Romario Williams.
Oh my God, no man.
But I'm just saying, that's what we have, right?
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
That's what we have.
We in trouble. We need strikers and we need midfielders. What do you think about that scenario?
Well, we're gonna get eventually Lewis Baker. Eventually, I think we'll get him. Maybe March is too early. Yeah, but he also is a midfielder who score goals. So if you want goals, your midfielder score goals is a good thing.
Kranky. That's gonna be overworking him. We're trying to find people.
No. But I'm saying his goals is part of his game. Goals are part of his game. Not overworking. Okay. Goals is part of the game.
So a forward now. Who could we bring in? This is my last question, and then I go. Who could we bring in? I saw those guys from the JPL, and I was hoping that these 2 games, one of them would have shown up. Somebody would have shown up. I don't see anybody show up. We're short in that department. Mikel is out. Kyle Dixon, he still have some time to go. Whisper is out injured. Who? I've got
No. I mean, look, you heard Kezara talk about Cameron Archer. People talking about Sims. There's a bunch of people on people's radar who they would like to see we pursue and try to get in. But at the point there's Keenan Davis, who I think is in Syria, who is probably close to getting his passport. There's another kid from the Championship of League One who we are talking to, who maybe get his paper. So there's some players, but if we're talking about players with certain pedigree,
what about the guy in Costa Rica? I think he just left. God damn his name, man.
I think I know what you're talking about, but then again, that's more localized, right? When people talking about players we need to get, we're talking about competing at a very high level. We want players with certain pedigree, right? Yes. Now, if the player is young and they're in the championship, I would look at them because championship players gravitate to the Premier League at some point. Holly Watkins and Tony are probably 2 best examples of forwards of Jamaican heritage who gravitated or migrated or transitioned from the League One to Championship to Premier League. So they're talent there. You gotta go find them young and nurture them and bring them up. But if you're gonna get the World Cup, they're gonna help you right now.
I hope that the next couple of games that he can come, with something, something, because we're tired of the same old. And
wait, who can come with something? The coach gonna come with something?
No, I'm just saying he needs to come with. I mean, from what I get from the last game after the USA, when he was doing his post-match blah blah blah, right? Because we're gonna play for a while. This comes out of his mouth, like he's trying to say, if players in the dressing room are not ready when they're called upon, they can't possess the ball. It's just his way of saying that the players are not good enough.
Yes,
and then when they asked him about the local players, he said, Meron choose them, right? So these excuses are done and old. What he said, if you call on someone in the dressing room and they can't follow instructions or put the ball, he's basically saying that they're not good enough, right?
Yes.
So the last couple of months he should be looking for someone good enough. That's my point. That's all I was trying to say.
I don't know. I'll be admit, I don't know what the coach is doing, to be honest. I haven't heard of the coach going out and watching games of players or surveying talent, because there's a difference between you sitting at home watching YouTube or sitting at home watching a game versus being at the game itself and see everything that's happening in the surrounding. It's a total different experience. It's a different type of assessment.
Kranky. I think he's there, but but we just can't see him. He's wearing a
Okay.
mascot.
Okay. Well, you're probably right.
He's wearing a mascot.
He's probably there, and the cameras don't go on him, so maybe I'm wrong. Okay, fine.
That's just a joke. But I hope though that he fixed this problem. He knows we have a midfield problem, a midfield crisis. I hope he fixed it. And I'm just saying this. We cannot just sit back and expect that the game against Guatemala is going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. So we have an easier chance to get the account to what they say. If we win our zone, our group, it'll be easier for us because something like, well, we're not going to face Honduras, Costa Rica, and Panama. So why not just take the easier route? Win your group and make it easier for you.
All right. Yeah.
Have a good evening, man. So let's just go on.
All right, Jamie. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hmm?
All right, people. We've been on now since 8:30. It's about 3 hours. It's probably an hour and a half longer than I intend to stay. So first of all, I thank you for being here. Look here, people. I mean, I really come anything to beat people, because I struggle with this every day about doing this because people sometimes take these things personal, and they probably should. If you're saying they should consider other opportunities, then you're saying they just should lose their job. So I can understand that. It's not my intention that people lose their job, but if you're not doing a good job, or if I have an independent view and a perspective from a perch, which basically says it's not working, I have to call it out. I can't be a hypocrite and just sit here and don't say anything. So the fans deserve better. The players deserve better. The people deserve better. As a people, and I would exclude myself out of this, we're athletic people in general. We have a number of athletes in our midst. Not every one of us is athletic. And they have raw material which need to be cultivated, nurtured, to grow, to develop, to be enhanced, to improve, to be able to compete on the world stage. We're doing these kids a disservice. When people say the JPL is not good and the players are not playing really well, I'm not going to blame the players because they have the physical tools. They just haven't been coached and trained and developed the right way to be able to compete. It's unfair to the players. When we talk about it, and that's where the technical department of Jamaica comes in, right? And look, in most countries, and even in Jamaica, the responsibility resides with others outside of, say, the football administration. But they're here. They're the governance. They're have the overarching view and perspective. They should be the one directing traffic about how things should work. We've talked about things like a style of play and system of play. And I mentioned that to Busby in a sense when it was asking the question for the women's team around this. Because he said he has like a methodology and I want to know what that model what that model entail. Right? And he could articulate that. Most people are not doing that in Jamaica. Jamaica don't have a system of style of play, and they keep talking about we athletics and we kick the ball long, and we have to be flexible and we have to be adaptive and all sorts of garbage that just sounds good but make no sense, people. Yes, within game you may have to change what you're doing. Don't be like Pastor Coglu at Tottenham who do the same thing over again and get beaten and still want to do it. But that's not. You have to have a system of style. You have a system of style of play and don't want to change it. In today's football, that's how it works. And you have to have a national philosophy about how you want to play football. You have to get people with the experience and the practical and theory to teach you how to play football. The kids have to be trained mentally, physically, emotionally, tactically, in every respect to become the best footballer. We're not happening. So next week, I'm going to put him on the spot. Before the game, I'm going to have a couple of shows before the game. So if you're here, we got to talk. We're going to have a session before the game. Because before the game runs an academy in North Carolina. Haven't been there, but I've seen a number of videos about how he coaches and what they do. But mainly around the players, not really coaches, but how the players play football. You can see that they've been coached, right? So we're going to come here and talk about his history, his background, what he's done, where he's been, the history about him in football. I think it's a good story to tell. So join me next week. We're probably going to do it next, I think maybe Friday and maybe Thursday or Wednesday. So it's going to be a 2-day thing we want to do. And maybe we'll have he can get some videos so we can also relay the videos to you about how his kids play football. Before the game is obviously from Trinidad. And just like Jamaica, Trinidad going down to the toilet when it comes to football. Sports in general in Trinidad. I don't know what happened to Trinidad people. Once a fairly rich country, given they were a lot of oil. They're just going in one direction, and it's not a positive one. Somehow they're trying to catch Jamaica in a lot of respect, and they're doing a good job of doing so, but not the most positive way. So we're going to talk some more football, because I think at some point, we can't keep the status quo. Things have to change. It's not a good look. Things need to change. They have to change. They must change. We refuse to give in. We refuse to just acquiesce and give all rights and privileges to those who just exit up. That's not okay. And they may say, well, you know, on your channel, you only have 2 people that watch it. Well, you know what? The 2 people then will help me. Make it 3 people, whatever it entails. But things need to change. We know what good looks like. Most football fans who support Jamaica know what a good football team look like, know what a good player look like, know what we need to do. And we have some people in some seat, like them deaf, tone deaf, blind, whatever, keep doing the same crap over and over again and expect a different outcome. This under 17 team losing is not forgivable. It ain't forgivable. Trust me, it's not forgivable. Denying those kids the chance to get to the World Cup. Basically, that's what you've done. Poor planning, poor execution, poor everything. And that can't be okay. And I heard so many people. So here's a question for you before I leave. This is my last question. Who evaluate the evaluators? So when I hear that the coaches get evaluated, the players get evaluated, the equipment get evaluated, the people who's in the boardroom at the JFF who make decisions, who evaluating them? Because frankly, a lot of them should lose their jobs. If you look at the finances, we're making progress. In some other areas, making progress. There's some areas we're regressing drastically. People tell me, well, things improve. No, they ain't. There's a speed of improvement that tell you about real improvement. If I was making $2 a day and 30 days I'm making $3, I've improved. But somebody's making $2 a day, they're making $100, that's real improvement. So things need to change, people. Things need to change. Yeah, before the game, maybe it's a sense of pride, but pride ain't working. Pride is a flawed concept if you keep on failing. Things need to change, people. So, as I said before the game, and I will talk next week. Come join the show, man. Come join the show. It should be a good show. Because some people think that them know everything about everything and them do everything, and then really they don't know. Them in the Caribbean. If you want to impress me, do well outside the Caribbean. So the track and field athletes, then impress me. The local teams in this English-speaking Caribbean, them not impress me. Until them. So he's a good barometer. Cavaliers are player either Inter Miami, who's up on KC. I play the second leg first. If it's Inter Miami play, beat Inter Miami, it may impress. If you beat Inter Miami, impress me. I'm looking forward to that, actually. I don't want you to say about no iPad no work or no data thing. No, I don't want anything. You have years to prepare now. You know what is needed. You play Cincinnati last time. You blame it upon certain things. Them things are supposed to be addressed now. If you're thoughtful, it's supposed to be addressed. So let's see what happens. All right, people? So anyway, have a good weekend. Hope you enjoy the weekend. And by the way, people, the reason I'm doing less shows is because I started going back to the gym this week. And I didn't realize how much out of shape I am. So I'm back in the gym. And if you go to the gym, you have to spend at least 1.5 to 2 hours in the gym. So if you get up a certain time, by the time you leave the gym, the day half of the day done. And then you come back and run and do a show. And researching for a show, and you normally take between, depends on what kind of show you do. If you do a video, it probably could take you a day or longer. If you do a regular show like this, it may take you 4 or 5 hours to prepare for it. Depends on what you want to talk about. So it takes a lot of time. And you have to do other things in your life. So it's becoming more difficult. That's why you don't see me doing a show every day anymore. Because when YouTube send me the check, I'm going to work it out to be $1.01 an hour may I make. And that's before taxes. So I have 5 taxes here. I'll take tax out. So my tax rate, I say 40-50%. I make 50 cents an hour. I kind of get discouraged. Because I don't know support me long enough. Those of you who are here regular like Drew Ross and Ted Dexter and Jeremy and I know not good, but some other people not support me. So anyway, me stop whine and cry and just say thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here. Hit the like button before you leave. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And enjoy your weekend. Enough games, good football games around this weekend, people. No, I don't want Cavaliers win. I actually want Cavaliers win. I don't want Cavaliers lose. Me not bad mind and grudgeful, as them call it. Want them win. Want Jamaica to have some encouragement in football. Want them win. Will they win? Yeah, left to be seen. But want them win. Want them win. Want them win. Me no want them lose. Me no want no Jamaican team to lose. Don't say that. Respond that. I want all Jamaican team to win. Right? But I also want the people who are in certain roles to improve. And if they're not improving, they have to go. You're taking up space. You're being like a bench warmer. You're not adding any value. You need to go if you're not improving. When you don't get let go of 5 coach and you still deny a rule, you let go of 5 coach who know none by performance, 5 coach leave and you still deny your rule. Come on, man. You need to leave, man. Yeah, waste time. But anyway, tomorrow there's some good games. First game tomorrow, David Moyes against Amarin. And I hope he gets a hammering. Anyway, people, bless up. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being here. See you next week. And as I said next week before, I'm having on special guests before the game. I hope you're not reneging on me. I know some people stay them renege after them, say them I'll do this something, you know. So before the game, don't renege on me. Don't renege on me before the game. Come do the thing with me next week. All right? Bless up, people. Have a good evening. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Peace out. Kranky life is the best to be now. For the best sports talk and it's free, yo. Kranky life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Kranky life, tell them. Kranky life, heed them. Kranky life, want them. Kranky life. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose because Kranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Kranky life, feel them. Kranky life, heed them. Kranky life, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Kranky life, get to know the name because Kranky analysis is never lame. Kranky life, give me my Kranky life. I want my Kranky life. Must have my Kranky life. Whether it's football or track and field, you know Kranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and debate and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Kranky life. Tell them, Kranky life. Heed them, Kranky life. Want them, Kranky life. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Kranky Live. Tune into Kranky Live. Like up Kranky Live. Subscribe to Kranky Live. Kranky Live coming to you on weekdays. Kranky Live sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Kranky will always bring the heat. Kranky Live. Me say fi tell them Kranky life. Me say fi heed them Kranky life. On them Kranky life. Kranky life will be around. Kranky life is the best in town. Me say fi heed them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi heed them. Want them, heed them, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life. Heed them. Want them. Heed them. Want them, Kranky life. Kranky life. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life. Kranky. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed, want, heed them.